Yeah.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. All right. Let's see. Am I muted? Yes. All right. Welcome everybody to an all new episode of Star Wars Saturdays. What's so funny, AJ? Why are you laughing?
I'm muted.
Because no, I despise the sound of it, like just echoing. Like I hate that so much. But welcome to an all new episode of Star Wars Saturday, the show where we bring our love for Saturdays to our love of Star Wars. No, really, it honestly just happened to fall on a Saturday. We just said, oh, okay. But anyway, we got a great panel today, starting off with Didge. What's up, Didge?
Not much, glad to be able to join.
Absolutely, man.
That's about it.
I'm glad that I can finally stop putting special guest Didge, because you're now just family. Like it's just Didge now. It's just Didge. Like there's no special guests. Just Didge. That's it. It's gone.
I appreciate it though. I appreciate it though.
Right. Look, after Trevon's third podcast with me, I said, all right, you will never not be on the podcast I'm doing. You'll be on every single one. And he has. He has. He has not missed. I told him I'd cry. You fuck around, make me cry on air, Trevon. You not be on a podcast with me. I won't, but he don't know that. Next up is AJ. What's up, AJ?
What's up? I am exhausted.
Really?
Last 30 minutes, I went to take a nap for 30 minutes. And I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm just tired because I took that extra nap.
I love how you're tired.
Anyway.
But I have tweets that track back from 6 a.m. to 5 minutes ago. So
5 minutes ago.
Maybe you could have gotten sleep in between that large gap.
I didn't sleep less than 5 minutes ago.
He's scheduling them.
He do be scheduling them, Trevon. I be waking up and AJ be tagging me and something like, what is this? Like, why are you awake? Like, it's a Saturday. Go to sleep.
Look, I am a vampire, sir. I can't be going to sleep at night.
No, you know what you are, AJ? You are, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. You legit are somebody that gets every ounce of Twitter, right? So like, you know how like some people just use it here and there? You get every ounce of Twitter out of your app. Like you utilize Twitter in every possible conceivable.
I try. Okay.
You do. AJ got you with the he got you with the theories. He got you with the thirsting for Haley Steinfeld. He got all the bases covered, man.
I deleted my Facebook. I deleted my Instagram. I don't use none of that shit.
Just do Twitter.
But Twitter. So if I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it.
You know what's funny? I only see 4 people tweet constantly, and I can kind of guess what the tweets are going to be just off of the time. Ash, Trevon, Jamie, AJ.
Whoa.
Ash with football.
Soccer.
Ash
all
with
the time.
Football.
You're right.
Trevon.
You're absolutely right.
Trevon with his
takes.
No, because we can't keep doing that to Trevon. What Trevon now be tweeting is he be tweeting stuff he know I won't approve. So he be tweeting it at weird times, so it'd be escaping me. I saw your little Halo tweet. I saw it. You think
I saw that.
I saw it.
And I liked it.
You're not slick. I be seeing it, man. Y'all be trying to be slick out here. I see it.
I was glad you tweeted it because that let me know the season is over, so I can not have to buy I can just binge it. So I was like, all right, cool. Now I can get the trial and binge.
I'm just going to completely ignore
let me ask you this.
It does not exist.
Let me ask you this. Are you a fan of Halo? Like a fan?
Oh, I wouldn't say a fan.
You know any of the story of him.
You'll be fine with it. You'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's only distasteful for people that are just purists to the lore of just the character, not the story. Because it wasn't a bad story.
I didn't know it had any lore.
But see, you've played all the games.
I mean, you're just going around shooting, right? Shooting aliens.
That's not what the game is, Trevon.
That's all I know it to be.
Lord.
Did you not play the story mode?
We're here for Star Wars.
I don't play the campaign, honestly.
Oh, okay, then that's different.
So-
Yeah,
That's fine.
can
Then
I
that's
just say, can I just repeat that again? Because we are here for Star Wars, we ain't here for Halo.
Yes, we're here for Star Wars.
I'm just
Okay.
that was that was out.
right.
What?
All right, well then let me finish introducing everybody for Ash. Beat me up. All right, Trevon, what's going on, Trevon?
You know, here to guest talk Star Wars, I guess. Yeah.
only Star Wars. Yeah.
Let me not deviate, Lord. All right.
Goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
look, Trevon, don't bring Marvel into this. This is not a Marvel podcast.
Well, they're already in it.
Don't bring Marvel
my chair,
comics into this.
so.
Nope, that's not what we're doing today.
Goodness, Ash was talking to us like we was in her classroom or something. All right. And last but definitely not least, the queen of Star Wars, Ash. What's going on, Ash? You muted yourself. You unmuted just to mute yourself.
Oh,
you muted yourself again.
Still muted.
What are you doing?
There we go.
You're fucking up over there. Come on now.
Woo!
Get it together.
Ooh.
Get it together.
Goodness.
It's because I'm trying to get my little oil thing going, and so I put the cover right next to the mouse, and it was just doing the most. You know what? I'm not in the mood for you today.
We're talking about Star Wars, not oil. Oil talking. No oil talk.
You know?
Let's get to Star Wars, okay?
Hey.
Let's get to it.
You know what? Let's get to it, because
that's what you said.
I walked into that one. I really did. So just know, anytime you deviate, Trayvon, I'm coming after you today.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right, so AJ, get us started off. I was actually part of this press conference they did where Deborah was talking about it. But AJ, kind of shine some light on the showrunner's comparisons on the Kenobi show. Her comparisons between Joker and Logan.
Okay, so let me look for this. Where is it at?
I can kind of summarize it while you look for the exact quote.
Okay.
So she was alluding to the fact that she appreciated that she got to do a singular story with Kenobi, like how Logan was a singular story, Joker was a singular story, where it's more contained. You're just focusing on the specific plot line. You're not building a universe. So it's more so just like I can come in here, focus just on Kenobi, kind of go as dark as I want, as deep as I want into this story, and not really have to focus on the things that surround it, right? Like not have to worry about expanding past that, anything before that, just focusing on this specific pocket of time.
So,
go ahead.
Since you say that, so I'm assuming this is just gonna be one season then. That's what that sounds like to me.
Well, no. If it is, because it's already retconned. It's already retconned what we know the Star Wars lore to be. What Kenobi was doing in this time, the fact that the only time he met Vader was when we saw it. So you're already retconning some stuff as is. So to me, I kind of feel like if you want to do a season 2 that takes place right after wherever this leaves off, you can. Do I need it?
Was this the comment about Kathleen talking about Rey and Obi-Wan being related to Obi-Wan, or is that the other one?
No. I'm talking about when Deborah was talking about Deborah Cho is the
Deborah. Okay,
right?
okay.
Yeah, Deborah Cho. Yeah. So I don't need another season, Trayvon, to be honest with you. I didn't expect this season. So when they announced it, I was just like, well, now you kind of have the door open to where, like, let's say it ends with Kenobi saving whoever he needs to save, and he goes back to Tatooine to watch over Luke. If you want to say that a year later something else happens that takes him away from Tatooine, you can. Do I need it? No.
I mean, we know he doesn't die, so.
Of course not. Right. Of course not. Right.
It's very
that would be wild if they tried to pull that.
I would even like them to do something really adventurous. Like we've now seen what Kenobi's done in this time. Why not do, if this is a limited series, no season 2, no movie continuation, give us the other side of the fence. Let us see what Vader's been doing in this time and do a Vader journey where Vader's going around killing Jedi. And let that be a limited series where we see him working, not willingly, unwillingly working with his what do you call them?
Inquisitors.
His Inquisitors. I would very much be fine with that if they wanted to do the flip side of that coin. So instead of doing,
we would eat it up.
100%.
That would
100%.
That would break Disney Plus.
That's easy. Like that's easy.
That would break.
Like that is
100%.
so, like,
100%. It would break. You know what? Disney Plus on a Vader series might say, you know what? We don't even need Marvel shows or movies this year. We about to eat off Vader. Vader merch, Vader figures, Vader statues, Vader.
I'd buy all of it.
I'd
buy all of it.
I'd be scooping all that shit right to the middle of the table. It was a joke, Trevon. It was a joke. I'm just saying that's how profitable Vader is. I want Marvel stuff. Relax.
Trevon said, "I still need my Fantastic Four."
Yeah, like I just relax. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was just alluding to how powerful the name of Vader is. That it definitely could buy you a lot of goodwill. You drop a Vader show. You good for that quarter. You good for 2 quarters. That's for sure. But Didge, I'll pass it to you. What are your thoughts on this being on Deborah kind of approaching this like more contained? So it's not like she has to really worry about what comes after. She can just really focus on making this the best story possible. And AJ, when Didge is done, if you got her actual quote, I'll pass it to you. But go ahead, Didge.
So when I first heard the quote, and AJ, I'm interested to hear the actual quote because I've obviously heard it through tweets or whatever. I was a little worried at first because I was like, Joker and Logan feel like 2 completely different things to me. So when you say like, oh, I'm glad I can make something that's like Joker and Logan, I was like, oh my God, where's this series going? Like, what does that even mean? But for you to explain it, that it's like, this can be something that is self-contained, not have to worry about a larger overall universe. That makes me feel a little bit better because then I do think that there are times that when you create something that you know that you have to tie it to a larger universe, you have to almost cut the story at points because it has to make sense within that thing.
Right.
And we already know that, like you said, it's retconned already. Essentially, all we need out of this series is that you can't say Obi-Wan died.
Right.
That's really all you have to make sure of. So you can do so much. It can be a self-contained story, and it can bring a lot of interesting stuff. And you won't have to worry about, okay, how is this tying into what happened three years after this in storyline aspect. So I think it should be a help.
Right, and I think, and that's one thing I'm starting to get a little bit curious about. That obviously will be answered Friday, but because like Uncle Owen, right? We know he don't die.
Right.
Luke, we know he don't die. We know Kenobi don't die. We know Vader don't die. We know Palpatine don't die. So I'm like, somebody got to die, right? It's Star Wars. So that's why I believe they're going to lean heavily on some of those cameos where we might see Cody reappear. Cody dies, right? We might see some of those ancillary characters that we kind of don't know what happened to them in this time frame.
I feel like the Inquisitors are expendable. Sadly.
Well, we know one of them isn't because remember Kanan kills the Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
So we know the Grand Inquisitor won't die.
I'm talking about the main one, the Inquisitor, that one.
Played by Moses.
Yeah.
I don't think she will.
I
really
not,
don't.
But I'm saying
I don't think so. I agree with the premise that she could.
Yeah.
The premise that she could. So I think they might lean a lot on cameos and some of those like heartwarming cameos are like, oh, they brought blah 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 here, dead. Oh damn, they brought blah 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 here, dead. Like, oh damn, okay, so these are the people that are dying because you can't kill nobody else important. So I think they might lean on that. Ash, you're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Damn it! Oh, damn it! That's gonna happen a lot.
Just do like this. Just do like this and eat. Just do like this and eat.
No,
that's why you're doing it.
No, leave me alone.
What were you saying?
I was saying, don't bring Cody back just to kill him. I can't take that. Like,
I don't think that'll be the sole purpose, but I do think it would be weird.
Don't. He don't need to die.
He's gonna die regardless.
That's what I'm saying.
He dies regardless.
Okay, let me live in denial, please. Okay.
No, you shouldn't.
Let me live in this moment.
Look, I don't let Trevon live in denial, so I can't let you live in denial. I'd be trying to wake Trevon up from denial sleeps he be in. But AJ, what's the actual quote?
Okay, so she goes on to say, I think I was the most excited about getting the opportunity to do a character-driven story in a similar way. It's a different tone, but something like Joker or Logan, where you take one character out of a big franchise and then you really have the time and you got a lot deeper with the character, Chow said. That to me seemed really exciting to get to do in Star Wars.
Yeah, Twitter can twist a quote.
That's what Twitter does. That's what Twitter does.
Completely different.
I wouldn't even blame Twitter. It's the headlines. It's the headlines from other websites. That
for sure, yeah.
That's why I said I was glad I was part of the press conference Thursday.
And this is why I read the full article instead of the headlines. So
right. So yeah, Dig is like, wait, you gonna make it like Logan?
I was just like I said, it literally said Logan and Joker, and I'm like, I see both of those. Those aren't. Those don't match.
Like Star Wars.
Nowhere near what I want to be like. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was gonna go into it still with the open mind, but I'm like, all right, man. Gotta prepare myself.
They're just like, all right, so Kenobi about to be cursing and shooting people in the face. All right, well, you know, I mean, who's gonna get here at some point?
I was like, are they gonna retcon all the 3 movies, like 7, 8, 9? They gonna act like those, like
the entire original trilogy.
Also,
I was honestly wondering that. I was like,
Also, you really can't make Kenobi like the Joker. Like the Joker, to me, like I don't like to use it, but it's like the closest description I have to it. It's like an Elseworld movie for DC. Right. You can't make Kenobi Elseworld like that's just not possible.
When I heard Joker, I was like, Anakin would work better for that,
right?
Like, not Kenobi. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so that part doesn't make any sense to me, but when she says like talk about like the singular character like that, like that part makes sense. Like you just focusing on him, you're not expanding, but in a way you are expanding because we really don't know what was happening to him during that time. So this technically is an expansion, but either way, I like what she says. I don't think it's going to be like the Joker because the Joker, that was just different. Maybe Logan closer, maybe, but I don't think it's gonna be like that.
I think it's literally going to be way more like Logan tonally, even narratively, just essentially a character who's kind of, lost on himself, down on himself, who's essentially thrust into the position of having to care for somebody else when he feels in his lowest moment. And that's why I appreciated, we'll get into the clip next, but that's why I appreciated that clip that they released. Cause I'm like, yeah, that's Owen and Kenobi. That's what I've always read. That's them. Owen going, nah, no, you cannot come and see Luke. It's just like, oh, word. All right. Remember that when Black Chrysanthemum comes to kill you and you looking for some help. I'm gonna remember that. Don't you worry. I'm remember that. But AJ, so I want to, before I pass it to Ash, I want to ask you your thoughts on the quote. And do you think that we could get that comic panel to play out in this series of Black Chrysanthemum being hired to go kill Uncle Owen, and then Kenobi comes and saves him, and we get to see Chrysanthemum fight Kenobi?
Yeah, I can see that happening. But is it likely? Probably not, because it's already in the comics. They don't really go into the comics with these shows lately, so I can see it happening. But at the same time, I'm not gonna hold my breath if it doesn't happen. I think they're just gonna focus on the Inquisitors within the series for now, which is totally fine with me. That's even better personally. But with the quote, a lot of people just misinterpreted that quote so badly in the comments on Twitter just because of the headlines and all of that. So I understand why. People were worried when she said, what was it? It was Joker and what was that one?
Logan.
So I understand why people were upset, because Obi-Wan doesn't feel any close to any of those characters. So
not at all.
Not at all.
But I understand. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm
sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go.
I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Damn, that was quick. I said no, go. I would be a little heartbroken if Black Chrysanthemum isn't in it, only because it's like that was such a random character to put in The Mandalorian. Book of Boba.
Book of
Boba. So I'm like, I thought the whole reason of putting them there, because it's like, okay, he is still alive here, but right after this, you're about to get Kenobi. And he very much had a big fight with Kenobi. I think that's where he got a scar from, is Kenobi. So I'm like, I thought that would line up. But again, I don't need them to do bit for bit from the comics, but it's like, it's right there. It's like literally right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be the Inquisitor send Black Chrysanthemum. It could be just like a personal beef Black Chrysanthemum has with Owen, where he saves. Because you remember in the comics, AJ, Luke was a lot older. Like a lot older. He was flying his own ships and whatnot at that point, where Black Chrysanthemum was coming after Owen. But still, I think you could still do it here and it worked, but whatever. Did you remember what you were going to say, AJ?
No, I just completely
lost.
Yeah, it's gone.
Stop thinking so damn much. Anyway,
there's a lot to think about, sir.
Ash. Not right now. What did Ash tell you? Only think about Star Wars. Relax your mind.
There's a lot of Star Wars to think about.
I will condense it.
Ash.
That's pretty hard.
Damn, wow.
What are your thoughts on the quote by I forgot her name, Deborah Cho?
I just said it.
See?
Like earlier, like when I said, like, you can't, like, Kenobi, he's not to say Joker comparison there. Mm-hmm. That movie felt like an Elseworld movie. Like, if you're like thinking about like what would it be, comic, like whatever. Right. You can't do that to Kenobi there. Like, that's just not a character that you can pluck out like that and try to say they're not part of this typical universe. Right. So like, then what is he doing?
Yeah.
And so, but I do like, again, like what she said about focusing on him, because we really don't know much outside of the comics, like what happened to him, what was he doing, and this gives us that expansion. It fills in the gap years even more for us between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So like, I love that we're getting a lot of that within like small chunks as well. So that's what my thoughts are.
Absolutely. And like I said, you're paying a lot of close attention to Vader and Kenobi. I'm very interested in seeing where you kind of go with this, because we know how it ends. Everybody lives. So it's like, what happens to all the other characters that are in this? So
and it's only 6 episodes.
Right.
It's only 6.
Right.
So like, this has to be just
there can't be any lull episodes, like any episodes that you're like, okay, it was just getting me to next week. No.
They're pretty good about that, and with the Star Wars shows.
Book of Boba had like 3 episodes that I was just
Boba
like,
dragged. Boba dragged until episode 4.
I was enjoying those.
Boba dragged.
I didn't hate them, I didn't hate them, but to be fair, Didge, I'm the same guy that, and I know Ash is gonna yell at me, but I'm the same guy that when we were watching Bulma in the middle of the Frieza saga, I enjoyed those episodes. Like, yeah, all right, this isn't bad. Like, do I need it? Of course not. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
So I felt the same way about Book of Boba.
That is rude. First of all, that is rude. Okay,
hold on. Because I had to like charge my headphones.
Okay, but what was the rude part?
Comparing that entire saga with Bulma and whatever.
No, there was no comparison. I was just saying how in Dragon Ball Z, when you wanted to just see Frieza and Goku, you were watching Bulma play out. It's like, why am I looking at
even though those episodes dragged, they were still really good episodes because everything then tied back to them earlier. So it's like,
that was my point.
But so did Mandalorian did. So did Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, Mandalorian also dragged a little bit as well, but you know what?
Mandalorian, I believe, only had one horrible episode, and it was that episode with the ice spiders.
I like.
I forgot about that episode.
I hate that episode.
I gotta retract my statement because I forgot about that episode.
Yeah, I hated that episode with a passion. Because bro, I got to the end of the episode, and then they were just like, "All right, let's get you to the planet where you belong." Wait a minute, hold on, what? What narratively was I supposed to take from this episode? Literally nothing.
I do have to retract my statement because I forgot about that. Tells you how much I didn't like that episode. I forgot that was an episode.
Yeah. Man, I'm sitting there watching it. I get to the end of it. I'm just like, there was no purpose to this. Literally none. What narratively was I supposed to take from this?
You can't hit 100.
Another planet.
You can't. Well, that's fine, Ash, but you could have given me something narrative to that, like something shot it down or something, just something to make it a little bit more interesting. Like, I won't argue with Trevon. It was action packed, but it also was just like, I've seen this twice before. It was called Alien and then Aliens. I don't need it in Star Wars.
I need it. I liked it.
I gotta watch those movies. So I'm on.
Oh, well then there you go.
Either of the Aliens?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you're good.
All right, move on.
It's not Star Wars. It's not Star Wars. I can't. So, but
what were your thoughts, Trevon, on the quote by Deborah?
See, that's the thing. When you see these quotes, you're just like, usually I'm one of those people that will click it and go read and see what they say. I did not do that this time. I was like, huh, okay. So he's like, we know he didn't die. So are they gonna, like, since everybody hates the movies, the 7, 8, 9, are they gonna retcon them? Is he gonna die then? Like, I was just wondering. Like, my mind started racing. I wondering what they're gonna do. Like, that's a weird thing.
Wouldn't that make you want to read it though? If your mind was racing so much, wouldn't that make you want to read the quote?
I'm pretty sure something else got my attention. I just kept.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, after I read it, that line about it's a different tone is very needed. that little line in there needs to be there. But yeah, I get it. Clickbait. Yeah, I like that it's gonna be a singular story. I remember. I think I saw it. They were like limited series at one point. I think I saw that once, and I was like, oh, okay. So I guess that's what we're gonna do with this character, which I feel like it's a lot of space and time that they could use there for a little while. Like, it doesn't have to be one season. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with it. Like you said, more Logan, less Joker. I thought Joker was a weird thing to say.
I think she just meant like the Joker, you could just
it's going to be a character study.
I know.
Right. Like, you didn't have to focus on Batman or building a cinematic universe. You were just focusing on just the character study of Joker. I get what she meant.
I get it, but
it's just the headlines made it sound like she was saying, like, my show is like Joker and like Logan. And it's like, that's not what she meant.
You know how people, they like to clickbait and rile everybody up.
But it's still like, it's not like those as well, because you still have parameters. Like, just like all the Marvel movies have parameters. I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but I'm saying, but all of them have some kind of parameters around them. You can't just jump out the window.
That was the thing, though.
Kenobi either, though.
That was the thing, though. Logan ignored everything we had seen before that.
That was so different. That was fine.
And Joker did too. But that's what I'm saying. This show can be that, because you're now retconning. You're retconning. This is a time and place that we've never seen outside of a few comics. So that's why you have the freedom. It's like the Mandalorian.
This is still
you have your freedom.
The time period that we've seen in the comics.
Well,
it's still more than 10 years.
What are you saying, Trevon? So I make sure I'm getting you right.
The references that they say, or things that they like, they can't say something that doesn't make any sense from before the movies we've seen prior. Like, you can't just randomly.
Well, to be fair,
mess it up. Like, you can't.
No, but to be fair, Logan shouldn't have either. That shit did that up, down, left, and right.
Logan felt like an Elseworld, though. Like, it was a very weird jump to that movie.
But that was the problem. That was the problem. It shouldn't have seemed like it was Elseworld, because it was in the same continuity.
I know.
So yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you.
Joker is completely fine. They could do anything in that.
Right, and they did. Yeah, they did. So. They really did. Just like a little nugget really quickly, Taika Waititi did just announce officially that Monday night we will be getting the official first trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Give me gore.
It's no longer I do not say that name.
No, she was right.
On this
she was right.
Say that name. On this channel. We'll say somebody else's name. Don't say that name. Don't say that name. Don't say that name. Look, when it comes to this geek world, there are two people I do not work in the same space as. Her and fucking hate him so much I forgot his name. John Campea. I don't fuck with either one of them.
Oh, you talking about Grace?
No love. Yeah, I have no love for either one of them.
I like John Campea.
None. I don't. When I heard what he was saying about Ahsoka, no love for that man. None. Well,
I never heard that, so man.
I did. I was the biggest fan of his.
I heard it.
And heard that. Nope.
Everybody entitled to their wrong opinion. That's fine.
No. His opinion wasn't my issue. It was how strong he was talking against a character. No, man, hell no. I don't back none of that. Well, yeah, stay over there, but you need to stay over there too. Don't be bringing her name here.
I'm just saying what I saw.
All right, let's move on. Next one up is we got our clip from Uncle Owen and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know the exact scene, but it was alluding to Kenobi wanting to train Luke, wanting to at least meet him, and Uncle Owen kind of just laying the smack down verbally on him, like, "Oh, you want to train him like you did Anakin?"
Yes, keep your order away
and
from
it's like,
keep your order away.
I love you, Uncle Owen.
Look, to be fair to Kenobi, he didn't want that motherfucker to begin with. So it's like he begrudgingly trained Anakin. Well, it very much is just like,
I don't want need to train his son either.
But here's the difference. He wants to train the son.
So now after he
leave the order over there. Leave the order.
Time out. Hold on. Y'all never heard
wants to train him?
Y'all never heard a parent say, I definitely fucked up with you. But when I had your sibling, I learned all the best ways.
No, I'm the youngest, so I didn't hear that. I'm the youngest, so
I heard that. Me being the second oldest, I definitely heard like, hey, y'all too? These next ones though, we did pretty good. We never left them at a Chuck E. Cheese parking lot. So yeah, we did pretty good. But yeah, no, this was very much Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen and Obi-Wan, this is nothing new. They very much were never big fans of each other. Owen wanted Luke as far away from Kenobi as possible, and Kenobi just wanted Luke to have the proper tools to protect himself should he want to become a Jedi sometime down the line. Excuse me. And I appreciate Kenobi wanting him to just, learn about yourself. If you don't want to be, you don't have to. But at least know where you come from. So I did appreciate that. Trevon, what were your thoughts on this scene?
I mean, that's nice that he wants to do that, but where I am right now in Clone Wars season 7, episode 9, I feel like he should stay away from any other training. Train himself, worry about himself. Like, I just feel like, the order is very, the order is a cult, and I don't like it. So, like, I feel like you stay away.
I just want to throw this in here just really quickly, Trevon, before you finish, just really quickly. Luke did save the galaxy. Just want to throw that out there.
I mean, sure.
Throw that out there, because you're saying it like, no, find another hobby, go do engineering or some shit. No one else saved the galaxy. It was 100% Luke. Like, if Luke does that, then who saves the galaxy?
They'll figure it out without.
They would have lost.
That's my point, AJ.
Right.
There was nobody more powerful than Luke. He'll figure it out.
Yeah,
he didn't even know he had the Force.
Well, he'll eventually realize it when he balls somebody up. Somebody get mad at him, and then he'll choke him or something. He'll figure it out.
I didn't sound like you're just saying he was going to go to the dark side.
I mean,
hold on. So time out. So you thought one day puberty would hit, he would learn how to use the Force, and then just take all that limited knowledge and go fight Darth Vader.
I want you to know, if he learned the Force that way, then Darth Vader would have known where he was, and then
100%.
Then Darth Vader would have took over. So
he would have came and got his ass.
Father and son ruled the galaxy.
Hold on, we are
but
not
going to say.
I would have been here for that. I would have been here for that.
We are not going to say
galaxy.
Yes, a new.
I would have been here for that.
We are not going to say that Kenobi can't raise Luke, but a known murderer can come up here and raise this poor baby.
What a heartwarming family story.
He wanted what was the reason why he turned into a murderer? Because he was trying to save the children and his wife.
Yeah, but you can make an argument that he killed Padme.
We're talking family.
You're about to deny him his fatherhood?
Didge, this is not no Lifetime movie. We don't need no kumbaya.
A heartwarming family story.
Man.
A father seeing his son for the first time in years and saying, "We're gonna rule this."
Also, by the way, Darth Vader wouldn't have
force
turned
choking
if
together
he got him earlier.
Hold on. Time out. Also, what you guys are forgetting, even though I know we're joking here, but what you guys are forgetting is no way in hell Palpatine would have kept Vader alive if he could have just used Luke. Like, he would have definitely talked Luke into killing Vader, so he could have just been the master. And Luke
he had a while to wait, you know.
No,
he had to what?
A while.
No, he could have.
Right?
No, he could have trained him in secret, like he trained. What's his name? Oh my goodness.
And I'm sorry, are you forgetting what happened the moment Palpatine found out about
Listen, but here's the deal.
He said, "You better kill him."
His son. Blood is thicker.
Palpatine don't care.
Listen, we saw Vader sacrifice Palpatine. You don't think that he wouldn't have done it earlier?
No.
With his galaxy?
Hold on. Time out. Hold on.
Y'all underestimating him.
Time out. You're arguing something different. I said if Palpatine finds Luke, he would have Vader kill Luke. Now you're saying Vader wouldn't do it. I'm not arguing that. I'm arguing Palpatine would say, "Well, you kill Luke or I will." I mean, it's simple. That's what he said with Starkiller. You kill Starkiller, I kill you.
And then he would have aroused his child, and he would have killed Palpatine.
I agree, but then I don't think they would have continued to be evil together. Is my point.
I think so. I think they would.
I don't think so.
I think so. I think the pain of losing Padme will get him. Because look what's happened in the comics. Hallucinating, trying to find her.
I think you guys are forgetting the first words Vader said to Luke was "join me." So it very much would have been, okay, we're together now. All that hate, all that anger is let go now that I have my son.
Join me and let's keep killing. Let's keep force choking.
He said that. He wasn't going to do that. Vader wasn't.
Join me. Let's keep force choking.
Vader wasn't. All right, Trevon, did you want to add anything else to this Owen and Kenobi scene?
No, you know, can't wait to see what it does. See what happens. How we're gonna watch this play out. I hope Luke force chokes him for us, just one time.
First of all, Luke is 8 years old. He's not force choking anybody.
I just want to do it one time.
He's 10 years old. Come on now.
That's fine. Harry Potter was also 11 when he started. That's fine.
But Luke ain't 11. There's a difference.
They're right there. They're right around the age. They got their powers young, okay?
He's not looking for power converters right now.
Right now, Luke is dreaming of the day he can finally fly his own ship. That's what Luke's worried about right now. He ain't worried about no galaxy taking over, no lightsabers. This man just want to fly his ship. That's it, like his daddy. All right, Didge, what'd you think of this clip between I know you don't usually do clips, but the clip between Owen and Kenobi?
I mean, I get where Owen's coming from. I mean, because regardless, obviously, even though knowing that he doesn't know that Vader is Anakin, you still realize everybody thinks Anakin is dead.
Right.
So it's like, why should I trust you when the last person from my family I trusted you with is dead? So I get it, but you know, I'm curious. I'm more curious to see, you know, the aftermath of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll say this: if I'm Kenobi, my answer to that would be, Owen. I'll just say this: you didn't know Anakin. That was a crazy motherfucker from day one. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
So he doesn't know that he's a murderous.
No one does. No one does.
I think Anakin died.
No one does. You also got to remember this, Trevon. You also have to remember this. Anakin killed a lot. Well, I'm sorry. The dark side killed a lot of possible witnesses to Anakin's rise to the dark side, let alone the fact that they thought he died.
I would say the only person.
Yoda, Senator Organa. No, Kenobi doesn't know that he's Vader. Like he's still alive, but obviously he knew he turned to the dark side.
What's his I think one of the only person who would know would be Tarkin. I think Tarkin would know that Vader is Anakin. I think so.
Oh no, Tarkin doesn't know that, but Tarkin very much he learns later on, but he didn't know that from the jump. Palpatine didn't want anyone to know, even the not clone troopers, the stormtroopers
Thrawn knew from the jump.
Thrawn did know from the jump. Thrawn did know from the jump. But if your question is, Trevon, who knew that Anakin was Vader? Literally Palpatine, Thrawn, and Vader. But who knew that Anakin turned to the dark side before possibly quote unquote dying? Oh, Yoda, Organa, poor R2D2 sleeping with that shit. Obi-Wan Kenobi obviously saw it firsthand. But that's pretty much it.
I do agree. I would think Bail Organa would have known
that Anakin's still alive. As Vader?
I think so, because he was there towards the end of Revenge of the Sith.
No. You misheard me. Bail Organa knows that Anakin turned to the dark side. He doesn't know that Anakin.
That he knows that he survived the fight and it became Vader.
If Obi-Wan don't know, ain't no way in hell Organa knows. Obi-Wan's like, I didn't know. I had no idea.
No, they have video surveillance like in Endgame. They saw everything.
We talked about that. Yeah, She-Hulk showed up and was just like, let me get this shit on camera. But no, Anakin didn't know. Ahsoka didn't know. So if they didn't know, no way Organa knew. No way. If he did, well, bravo to him. If Force-sensitive people was just like, I thought that motherfucker was dead. And Organa's just like, nope, he alive. That's him right there. That's some good shit. I'm more
shocked that Force-sensitive people didn't know.
I think with Kenobi and Ahsoka, the only reason they didn't, because remember, a lot of other people were dead that knew Anakin. But I think for specifically Ahsoka and Kenobi, it was a more so of you didn't want to know. So you blocked out all the possibilities. Because remember in that episode of Rebels where she sees them, it's that empty feeling of like, no fucking way, it's you. Like, no way it's you. So it's more so of not wanting it to be. That's
also,
why I say
universe where literally the bad guy is in the Jedi temple and no one knows.
And no one knew. Guy. Yeah, Palpatine was sitting there the whole time just like, ain't nobody knew?
Yeah, see, that's the one thing I had a problem with. I was like, he is this powerful and none of y'all says that shit. None of it.
To be fair, the only person that sensed it, because this is what I appreciate about George Lucas. George Lucas, he knew black people, and I appreciate him. Because the only person that kept questioning shit was Mace Windu. Just like, y'all just gonna keep trusting this motherfucker? All y'all?
The only black guy.
Right. He's just like, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. And they just like, no, he's fine.
I mean, and nobody paid attention, like, where, like, all these trips he was making, like, he don't teleport. Like, y'all not, like, where is he going? Like,
listen.
I was like, how y'all not like check his flight plan? Like, what the hell? Where you been?
Checking his flight plan
or something? Like, where you been?
Well,
you don't think he clears his flight itinerary?
I mean,
well, first of all, AJ, he's the equivalent to a president, so you don't just check a president's flight logs. Like,
well, also, how is he leaving by himself? Like, where is
he wasn't though. He had people that knew who he was. That dude with the like little tentacles.
The blue
he knew everything.
Thank God that he got killed in Rebels.
Yeah, he knew everything.
He
knew everything.
To be fair, and I can't remember if it got retconned or not, or if it became Legends. Wasn't the Jedi Temple built on like a Sith shrine? Because I remember that used to be the explanation of why.
Yeah.
Okay, it still can. Okay, yeah. So like, wasn't that supposed to be the explanation of why so much shit was flying behind what the Jedi? Because like they're basically being passively corrupted.
Right, and you know what's even funnier, Trevon? There was a full-on fight between Maul, Savage, and Palpatine, and not one Jedi, including the Jedi that was on that planet, since any of it. Since any of it.
They were so
any of it. Kenobi was flying off the planet and was just like, Kenobi was flying off the planet just like, I'm glad I didn't die. And it's just like, but do you sense anything? I don't know, something going on.
Every time he turned,
I'm sorry, the Jedi deserved it.
I was so pissed.
I'm sorry.
Every time he turned, was like,
they deserved it.
Bitch. Like, somebody get him. Like, sick of this.
Also, they were
don't be looking at me and smiling.
Jedi were trained not to look to the future or anything like that. So
and to be fair to a lot of the Jedi, think about it. Really Darth Maul and not really Darth Maul all that much. So it's really Count Dooku was really the only Sith a lot of them had ever encountered ever. So it's one of those. It's one of to
be gone.
Right. So it's one of those to where it's like if Palpatine could kind of snuff his power levels, which we know is possible. That's what Kenobi's been doing. It's very easy for the Jedi to just go, You sense that? Nah, what you sensing? I sense like some Sith shit. Nah, but it can't be. All right, let's.
Also, Maul knew from the jump too.
Yeah,
Maul literally told Ahsoka, "Your man's Anakin."
Wait. Hold on. Don't say nothing else. Don't say nothing else. Trevon didn't finish.
Trevon.
Jesus Christ! This is what happens when we get closer and closer to Obi-Wan. Finish the show.
Disney sent out that thing. Just follow that.
No, but hold on. Time out for Trevon.
I'm watching the movie today.
But he's on the final season. So he's not far. He's not far.
Yeah,
he's not far.
To Rebels. So much good shit happened in
He already watched Rebels. He saw Rebels before Clone Wars for reasons I don't understand.
It was on Disney.
Oh my goodness, no. I was mixing up the shows. Never mind. I was mixing up when that moment happened. Never mind.
How you mixed up the show?
No, I mixed
Christ, Ash. Jesus Christ.
Leave me alone.
Come on now.
I love how Ash is yelling at you. He was like, "Oh wait, not that moment." Oh, hold on. Never mind.
Listen, at least I own it. Okay, I do.
Ash, I'll go to you. What were your thoughts on the relationship between Uncle Owen and Kenobi?
I love it. I'm Team Owen. Like Team Owen in this household right here. And I also like it because I think it's also going to give us I think just having them together also really expands on with A New Hope as well as to why when he says oh, Ben, the old guy, boom, 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 all of that. I think it also really also explains why he isn't even present there. And so I love it. I love that we're getting more of that. I think we were talking about Black Chrysanthemum earlier and everything. I think I would want to see him again because I'm you can't just really just bring him in for Boba Fett, and I don't think he was used as much as he could have been used in Boba Fett. I wanted to see more of him and more of him actually doing things. So I would love to see him appear as well. And I know this ain't never gonna happen, but I'm gonna say it anyway, and I'm a hope and wish and dream. But I would love for Hondo Ohnaka to appear in this series, just for him to just say.
Remember we told you. It's almost, you can almost bet on it. If you're gonna see him, it'll be in the Ahsoka series.
I want him in this one, just for that.
No, it wouldn't even. I wouldn't even appreciate it here. He definitely had a better relationship with Ahsoka and Anakin than he did Kenobi.
Oh no.
100%.
Not in my head.
Oh, now you pulling Trevon. Now you pulling another Trevon. You're digging into that Trevon bag, huh? Where you create your own head canon. This is what's canon.
Yes, I absolutely am.
Oh man, absolutely no. If we're being honest, Hondo's. If you had to give a best friend to Hondo from the Jedi side, it would be Ezra. So that's why, again, the Ahsoka series.
No, I'm talking. This is before Rebels. Before Rebels. I'm not. But I'm not thinking about Rebels.
I don't know.
About Clone Wars.
I just really don't think people around the galaxy really fucked with Kenobi like that. I really don't. Kenobi was very much.
Why you make it sound like Kenobi hated?
Nah, because Kenobi was very much just episodes. I'm just saying, Kenobi was very much just all right, this is what I'm here for. This is business. Anakin was yo, how are you? How's your mom? How's your dad? How's everyone doing? Kenobi was just bitch, you got the info or not? Goddamn, shit.
No small talk. No small talk.
Goddamn, Jesus.
You did tell that guy you want to go home and reevaluate your life.
We're talking about the same Obi-Wan that flirts like he's in a political war.
Yes,
that's the same Obi-Wan we're talking about.
The girl he loved died. Obviously, he has no feelings. So I mean,
people don't fuck with Kenobi like that. No, people don't fuck with him like that. Hondo don't be fucking with him like that. First thing Hondo gonna say is, "Where's Ahsoka at? She still here? She alive? Where's Ahsoka at?" Let me know when Ahsoka come around. I'm gonna pull through. But AJ, what were your thoughts on this clip?
I loved it. I really loved their interaction.
Would you say it was greatness?
It was greatness.
There we go.
Greatness.
Love to hear the word.
Obi-Wan and Owen. Love it. You can really tell that they're trying to go for an Emmy with this show. Mm-hmm. So the miniseries makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm loving it. I want more of this interaction throughout the 6 episodes of Obi-Wan. I want a lot of that.
Yep. So. That's why I believe they're gonna go more drama with a lot of these shows. Because look, when they did WandaVision, they were trying to sweep up the award show. They were trying to win everything for WandaVision. Everything. Costume, comedy, drama, anything that they could get an Emmy for. They was looking for that shit. I believe Moon Knight should have a lot of considerations. Especially for if it is a limited series, limited drama, it should definitely be looked at for that. Maybe not win, because I don't know what the fuck these other shows are out here.
I think they said it
definitely looked at.
Saying it kind of like knocked itself out when they changed it from series to season finale. Like,
yeah, I don't think it has to. I don't think it has to knock you out, but it definitely helps if you are just a limited series.
Yeah,
where people can just see you just for what that is, and that's it. Not have to worry about you going downhill. But I say that, but then I'm like, Modern Family won every conceivable award for like the last 20 years. So I'm like, it's possible Moon Knight could get some.
Moon Knight definitely deserves it where they treated the mental,
the mental health
of it.
Right.
Yeah, very seriously. I did appreciate that.
Right. Yeah, I told you that was a big thing about Moon Knight for me. That was very important for me. All right, let's move on. Rupert Find, I think is his name. It's not Friend. it's I think that's how AJ wrote it. I think it's you wrote Friend, but it's Rupert Find.
No, it is Friend.
It is Friend.
It is Friend.
It is Friend. I just
Rupert. It's not pronounced. Is it pronounced Friend? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
It's spelled Friend.
I think it's Rupert Fine. I think is his name. But
we'll look through articles. We'll look through interviews, and
so the R would be silent. You're saying because you're saying fine.
Yeah, I think the R is silent.
That's such a waste.
to say, is this the Friend family?
That's better than. What's the point of having a useless R there?
I'm literally watching
I look at the word island every day. Are you serious?
I look at the word knife every day. I'm like, what is this?
I'm like, come on, man. There's mad useless words.
Refrigerator. Come on now.
We can't say that in front of Ash. Ash's natural teacherisms will start to come out like, no, those make sense. But no.
Listen, it is Saturday at 2:51 p.m. Ain't nobody thinking about no teaching, thinking about no school.
I respect it, Ash. I respect it. But Rupert says he deliberately avoid watching Star Wars Rebels. I'll tell you this, I believe Deborah did too, because I don't know what the fuck that costume design is that he's rocking. But look, this is nothing new. I don't even get upset anymore when people say this. This is nothing new. I watch 20 years of X-Men movies with one singular director that never read an X-Men comic.
I mean,
it's just it's
to do that, right? I mean,
no, it never makes sense to look.
No, I'm saying, isn't this before? When is this placed? Is this before?
No, Trevon. I get what you're saying, but what you're forgetting is the Grand Inquisitor was only introduced from Rebels and then comics. So it's like you literally escaping the origin.
You said forget all of his character, just anything about his character. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Well, isn't that kind of like their fault? Then like don't they consult and be like, hey, I actually use this character?
No, if he says that he didn't watch it, it means that it was not a recommendation. It was not I'm
saying like after he used it, don't they like why why don't Filoni like, hey, I used that? Like what, they don't talk? Like nobody talks?
No, sometimes directors tell them make it your own. Make it your own. Look, I watched 20 plus years of X-Men movies of a director telling characters, make it your own.
You can't do that when it's in the same universe. Like you at least need to make sure.
I don't disagree.
You haven't used the character before.
That's my point.
I don't know what y'all smoking on, but he looks exactly like the Grand Inquisitor.
No, I'm saying if it's
what?
The only thing that's different. Look, the only thing that's different is the head shape.
And
yes, that's important, AJ. That's
and the head shape is not, because have you seen Count Dooku's head in like the animated series and then look out Christopher Lee? Like, come on.
Really?
Anyway, but no, it's the eyes.
Come on,
definitely the eyes.
That's a difference.
It's the eyes.
The head shape I could have got away with because it's like heads. People's heads don't look like animated heads.
Hold on. I can't even get over his body structure. Why he's so thick? Like, why he ain't skinnier? Why he so thick? He heavy. Why?
Listen, don't discriminate out here. Don't discriminate.
But why? Thick.
Here's
the thing,
still
though.
the same character.
He's
still the same character.
Oh, really, AJ?
Yes, really.
Because Gore the God Butcher is
that's a whole different design. We're not putting Gore in this.
That's
a whole
Marvel talk.
totally different design.
Is this non-Star Wars talk?
Marvel talk.
Hold on. Forget Star Wars for a second. Forget Star Wars for a second.
Well,
forget Star Wars for a second.
Wait. Absolutely not.
Design.
No. We ain't forgetting nothing for no damn second.
Forget Star Wars for a second.
Anyway, like I said, Gore the God Butcher's whole design was changed. You guys are talking aspects of the Grand Inquisitor. Just the eyes, just the head. Oh, he's too fat. No, he still.
Who said he was too fat? Did I miss that?
What's different about Gore the God Butcher? What's different about Gore the God Butcher?
I'm not even going to explain.
Trevon.
You know what's different.
Trevon, why?
You know what's different.
Why are you doing this?
No.
All right.
Trevon, put it back.
Calm down. Let's start off with Ash.
That's great.
Let's start off with Ash. Ash, we're gonna start off with you. Do you have any issues on Rupert saying that he didn't do any checking on the source material?
I do. And then the reason why I really do is because he says, I really wanted to honor the character as I saw him. You didn't watch the character, so what are you honoring?
As I saw him? What did you see? I didn't even hear that part.
So I almost deliberately did not see the animated That was where he first showed up. Boo-boo. So where is you going to look? In thin air? I'm sure you're going to do a really great job, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to enjoy it. But don't say you wanted to honor him as you saw him, but you never saw him.
I'm just saying
to replicate everything that he did at all, because that's not what we want. But at least watch the show so you understand where he is going to end up at some point. I don't know, like that. But that's just me. I could be reading
you can't forget that Rebels is still a long way from what we are in Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it makes sense for him to at least read the comics of the Grand Inquisitor more so than Rebels. But
did he read those?
I feel like
I don't know. He didn't say anything about the comics.
To me, AJ, I don't think it matters where the character takes place. It's the character that matters. So it's not like the Grand Inquisitor 10 years before acted differently than he did 10 years later. So it's like, to me, just watch the character. It don't matter. Just watch him.
Watch him. Zara Dawson said, I'm not going to watch any of Clone Wars or any of that as I prepare for Ahsoka. Like, what?
Yeah, like, no. Get to know the character inside and out. Doesn't matter the time frame. Again, I'm not saying this is an indictment. Like I said, this just, when actors say this or directors say this, it just doesn't bother me anymore. Because it's just like, I'm just so used to it now. I'm so used to a showrunner that comes in and goes, Moon Knight comics? I never read those. What? How did you get the job? Like, what did you say to Kevin that sold him on a character you know nothing about? I don't understand. I don't get it. But it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
With Power Rangers.
I mean, Power Rangers. Look, I'm telling you right now, what's probably going to happen is they're going to bring in a producer. The producer's going to look for writers. The writers and the director are going to be very well known. And they're going to be like, no, I wanted to make it my own thing. Did you watch any Power Rangers? Nope, not a day. It happens. I'm just saying it happens. Did you got any problems with this?
I mean, I won't say like a problem in like an aspect of, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. But it is disappointing. It's like one of those things where it's like, well, that sucks. Why? Why did you do that?
Right.
And like you said, it happens so much that it's just like, all right, so many people still put in a great performance that you're not going to say like automatically that means there's going to be a horrible performance. But again, like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not mad at you, but I'm disappointed in the actions you took.
Yes.
So it's that.
100%. It is. Like I said, I don't think it'll be a bad performance. I do know the one thing that rubbed me the wrong way in the trailer was when he was screaming, and I'm like, I swear to God, this was such a calm, cool, and collected individual in Rebels. Like it was very even keel, even when he was angry. So I'm like, look, he said he was bringing his own twist to it. And clearly he's off to a great start. so it looks like your Grand Inquisitor might not be the same one I remember, but hey, as long as it's not a bad performance, I can't be too mad.
It still does suck though. Like I can't get over that.
Yeah. Look, we said it the other day. We're watching it a lot in the MCU with characters that we're just like, what the fuck did you do?
It's also true.
Like what did you do? Fuck it. Trevon, Ultron, Vision, Hulk, just it happens a lot. Trevon, what are your thoughts on Rupert saying this? Because you are an actual Rebels fan, so you do know about the Grand Inquisitor.
I just think it's a mistake because I feel like when you use I just don't understand. Like Disney has Star Wars, right? They got somebody looking over it. They have Filoni right there. Like you got it right there. Like you can't just be like, hey, let's like go over this just to make sure I don't like step on something you've done. Like I don't understand.
I think Kathleen Kennedy gives everybody their own individuality, as you saw with The Last Jedi. So she gives them the freedom. So I think if you're Filoni, because again, remember, if you're Filoni, you don't have any right to tell her how she should go about a character just because it's yours. Nah. Look, you hear it all the time. I want him
to have that position.
But you hear it all the time from these comic book writers that are like, yo, did blah, blah, blah come to you about this character? I never heard from blah, blah, blah. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
so to me,
that's a problem.
That it should. It's a problem.
No. I'm not saying that it should. I'm saying that's just the way that it goes to where you can't they don't allow you to overstep. Right. So it's like it could be a character you created. It doesn't mean that they're going to come to you and ask you how should they construct it. Dave Filoni is lucky because he created Ahsoka, so they gave him carte blanche when it comes to that character. They only allow him to touch Ahsoka. But with everything else in the world that he expanded, they just going to do whatever they want. They're going to do whatever they want.
He gave y'all pretty much mostly everything. So
he gave them second life. He gave them second life. He 100%
he revived them.
Like it should be.
It don't be mattering, Trevon. I get you, but it don't be mattering.
at least I want to. Like it's not even like that's not gonna be a red flag to some people. Like so you haven't seen like. They're like, oh shit, well, let's get ready for this show. Like, just like that's not a thing you want to hear. Like, it's just not.
Not
like,
at
it's
all.
weird when you hear that. Or like they're doing a character they never read, never watched, nothing. Oh yeah, I'm just doing this character because they gave it to me. You do any research? No. What?
That's like getting the project. I'm sorry, now the teacher me is coming out. That's like me giving you a project and you just show up to present it. And I ask you, did you do any of the research on it? You just said no. So what you standing up doing there?
Like, hey, I had to turn something in.
I gotta get some sort of grade.
You know what? And this is why Reva is standing between Vader and Obi-Wan and not you. Boom.
That's fair. An argument there. That's fair. That's fair. An argument there.
I felt bad. Like, I was like, what did I do?
I did feel attacked. I understand who you were talking about, but I did feel attacked. Like
I was like, "Damn, what? I'm sorry."
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit bitter.
What? Like I chose to be a podcaster. That's why I'm not standing in the middle of them two. Like, don't call me out. But all right, let's move on. This one I couldn't wait to talk about because as much as and AJ knows, I've always defended Kathleen Kennedy, no matter what. No matter when people are trying to get her fired, I've always supported her. She is one of the great producers in the industry. I just think she happens to be one of those like you'll appreciate this. Like you would never give Mark Cuban a basketball and tell him to hit the game-winning shot, right? So like Kathleen Kennedy's problem is she's great in the aspect of producing. It's only when she comes down and she's like, all right, now let's structure this world. And you're just like, oh, Kathleen.
You're doing a little bit too much.
Well, now you write checks. Go write a check somewhere. We got this here. That's where Kathleen.
Right.
There you go.
We got the story. You just go approve them for us.
Yeah. Go figure out a budget. You know what I'm saying? And let me be very clear. I'm not saying it because she's a woman. I'm saying it because Kathleen has shown that her Star Wars knowledge is not that great. It's not that grand. It's very condensed. If this was a man in Kathleen Kennedy's spot and they were doing some of the things, I would say, because I don't want people to think I'm saying like, oh, go sit in the corners. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Kathleen has shown business-wise.
She's better than most men business-wise.
Ain't many like
she's a great businesswoman.
Business-wise. But
story-wise, as a fan,
let's cut it out. Just cut that out. I'm gonna need you to take a pause with this next era right here.
Kathleen, I need you to get out my way. Is what I need you to do. Go get the fuck out my way. But yeah, so Kathleen Kennedy says that the idea of Rey being related to Obi-Wan Kenobi flies in the face of everything George Lucas created. Now, where I will say this, Kathleen, where that's very confusing is, I don't think George Lucas would have done anything you approved of any of the 3 movies that came out in this new trilogy.
Why did she say this? Did somebody answer a question?
Yes, they did, but to let's be fair here, Trevon, because I know you don't know this. So let me just be fair to Kathleen Kennedy. She worked under George Lucas for a long time. So I could understand how she feels like she would understand what he would and would not want to do. But we know for a fact what George Lucas wanted to do with the next set of movies. And it won't that. We know for a fact what he wanted to do. It's documented. And it won't that. It won't what those 3 movies were. So I think a lot of those 3 movies were a spit in the face. You nerfing Luke Skywalker and then killing him is a spit in the face to George Lucas.
And then the entire Skywalker family.
Oh, we know George Lucas would have extended the Skywalkers to the end of time. We know that.
Oh, thank God they stopped.
We know that. We know that. We know that.
The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker right in his face. Miss Lady.
I won't argue that. But I will say the one problem I had more so than anything else was I actually would have preferred if she was a granddaughter of Kenobi. Didn't have to be a direct daughter, but a granddaughter. And here's why.
Who was he?
How would that work?
Here I go. He definitely had some flings with Duchess Satine, right? Duchess Satine was very much against everything the Jedi Order stood for. So she very much could have kept a child away from Kenobi. When she died, the child was raised by Bo-Katan. Anyone. Could have been raised by anyone. Doesn't have to be Bo-Katan. By anyone. Cool. And it could have been a descendant. It could have been a descendant of Duchess Satine that is part Mandalorian, part Jedi. And you could have went that aspect. I'm not saying you needed to, but I'm saying when a lot of people theorize that it could have been she could have been a relative of Kenobi. I appreciated that way more than what I got. What I got was Palpatine's granddaughter, and then she just awarded herself a Skywalker. I would have much preferred for her to actually been a Kenobi. Actually, right? And just lived up to that.
Nobody. I liked them when she was a nobody.
She could have stayed a nobody.
You could have stayed a nobody, and I would have accepted it.
You could have done so much with that entire. Oh man, don't get me started on the sequel trilogy.
She still had lightning.
No, but Trevon, let me say this. I understand people that are like, no, I didn't like the nobody route. I didn't like it either. But when you made it the storyline, I'm like, well, don't deviate from it now. Now I'm like, okay, I'm with it. Right? I'm here.
To those people, I would ask, who is Revan's father and mother? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But that is supposed to be the mystery of Revan. But so what I would fight back, AJ, and I'm going to pass it to you, Trevon, to get your thoughts on this. What I would push back on that, AJ, is I'd be with you if from the first movie it was made known that she's just a nobody, right? And it's her finding her power, right? And then it's just like, oh, well, where does this come from? Blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with that. But that first movie very much made it seem at numerous times like, could she be Han's daughter? Could she be Luke's daughter? Like, could she be anyone's daughter that we're seeing? And then the second movie, she's nobody. Then the third movie comes, she's Palpatine's granddaughter. What kind of roller coaster ride was I on in this trilogy?
Janky one.
Like, what was this? So that's where my issue comes from. I'm not saying from the beginning she should have been a nobody. I'm just saying you should have decided from the first movie, this is what I want her lineage to be. This is what it'll be no matter who the director is going forward. This is Rey's past, is what I'm saying. But when you made it, she's a nobody. Well, now don't deviate. She's a nobody. Fuck it. All right, cool. Shit, she came from the mud. She came up from the dirt. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Anakin essentially was Jesus. So shit, you want to make her nobody? Sure. Do you think? You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was my issue. I would have preferred her to be a Kenobi because I could have wrapped my head around that more. You know, like when people were saying like, oh, Finn could have been Mace Windu's son. No, he couldn't have. There was more than just one black person in a galaxy. If you had made him Mace Windu's child or grandchild, that would have been frustrating as hell. Like, there was one black person? What?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Lando,
yeah,
Lando,
and George Lucas
Lando,
it was only one black person.
It was
No,
two.
AJ Lando existed.
Two. That's much
Lando
better.
existed.
Two.
Lando existed. And you're not telling me that Hondo wasn't raised in Atlanta. You're not telling me that he wasn't. That Hondo wasn't Amigos. Hondo 100% was Amigos.
He was more of a New Yorker than anything.
If you telling me that Hondo's career didn't start off doing ad libs for the Migos, you got him fucked up. You got him all the way fucked up. Hondo was in that studio dropping ad libs. But Trevon, what's going on, Blake? Welcome in, Blake.
Thank you. How are you,
Blake?
Good.
Someone's late.
No. I sent the invite to Blake late. So all right. So I'm passing it to you, Trevon. So what are your thoughts? Would you have liked to have seen Rey maybe be a Kenobi, or did you like the way that they went?
I didn't mind it because now that I've watched Clone Wars and I see how powerful Palpatine is, it makes more sense why she was so powerful for the start. I was like, she's, and then the lightning and all that, like he loves to do that. So I was like, oh, okay. Now, like as I watched Clone Wars, I'm like, well, it's kind of, she a little off, when she get bad, they established early on she's very powerful from the start. And I remember people were mad about that. I was like, oh, why is she so good so fast? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, now that I watch this,
problem. That is a problem.
Yes,
that goes against everything George Lucas stood for.
Yeah, but now watching Clone Wars and seeing how powerful Palpatine is, I'm like, well, it's not too far-fetched for me for her to be. And I love power anyway, so I was with it. I was like, yes, let's go. Use all the power. Like, figure it out. Like, let's do this. So I was very excited. When she shot that lightning, I damn near jumped out my seat. Listen, that was great. Love that shit. Give me all the abilities.
Well, I will say, because I'm sure there's fans, there's people watching that aren't as invested in Lucas as I know some of us are here. But one thing George Lucas always spoke about, Trevon, was the ability to wield the Force is something that has to be earned. Right? It can't just be like you wake up one day and now you're just so fucking proficient in using force lightning, wielding a lightsaber. Like to him, it was something you needed to earn. It's why Luke, could you picture if Luke in the first movie fought Vader and won? Like, oh, that's just how powerful he is. What? No training? Nothing?
I mean, our boy Ezra.
What?
Our boy Ezra, look how he started out and look where he ended. He had to earn.
He had to earn it all. He
Even
had to earn
it all. Using it,
yes.
He had his trials and his tribulations before he got there.
Right.
Yes.
Again, don't get me started on the sequels.
What are you saying, Trevon?
I have a question.
I get that, but the power's cool. So
I don't argue that. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to take the power away from you. I'm just saying to George, you needed to earn it. So Rey just being able to, on a whim, defeat Kylo, who's spent almost his entire adult life training. And she just pops up out of nowhere, just like that was hard to watch. That was hard.
He a little off. So
listen,
what does that have to do with your skill? Like what? I could be crazy, but I'm still.
His grandfather was also mentally off. So his
grandfather has no emotions, but he had emotions.
His grandfather was nothing but emotions.
That was the whole reason he went to the dark side. Emotions killed to where he was today.
All he thinks about is killing. Okay. Now, Kylo
but he was driven by emotion, though, Trevon.
This is what I see. Okay.
I know you. Okay, I know you got to watch Revenge of the Sith. So there's going to be a scene with Yoda and Anakin, and I just want you to listen to what Yoda tells Anakin.
So much emotion.
But hold on, time out, Ash. You don't even have to go that far. Trevon, The man cried when Ahsoka left the Jedi Order. The man was nothing but emotion.
I'm talking about
the man
Vader.
went
I'm
and
not talking
murdered a
about
whole
Anakin.
bunch of Tusken Raiders because they killed a group of them.
Every time
Come on.
I mean,
Come
every
on.
time I've seen Vader, he's a murderous raving lunatic.
I'm
So-
sorry.
And he's using rage. That's
I'm
an
sorry,
emotion.
Yes, that's all he
Hold
got
on.
now. Is
Trayvon,
rage.
Vader's trilogy ends with him saving his son's life.
Yeah.
What are we saying?
Just let me have this, okay?
Okay, all right, you got it.
Let me
AJ,
have
what
this.
was the question you wanted to ask, AJ?
Y'all complaining about Rey being able to do everything so quickly, but y'all have no issue with Anakin doing everything so quickly.
What did he do?
Was
so
it
quickly?
so quickly?
What? How was it? quickly?
Okay, Phantom Menace. What was it? Phantom Menace? Yeah, Phantom Menace.
Mhm.
Soon as he gets into a what was it? Star
Pod
Cruiser, not
racer.
Star Cruiser.
The pod?
Yeah,
Pod racer?
flies through a literal war and survives that shit.
Okay,
Really?
You're forgetting time out. You're forgetting
Come
the number
on
one
now.
component. You're forgetting the number one component. R2 was controlling the ship.
Was not.
Also true.
R2 was controlling the
Was not.
ship.
Yeah.
Was not.
R2 was 100% controlling the ship. What are you
He
talking
was
about?
not. He was not.
Okay. All right. So you're telling me when Qui-Gon left and he said R2, watch over Anakin, the R2 was just like, yeah, I'm just
Oh, but
let this
Anakin
thing
was
just
flying
wildly
it.
fly.
Anakin was flying, clearly flying it.
Okay. All right, AJ.
Was he
and
not?
There's a difference between, okay, I could manage to fly a ship because I've been flying ships since I've been
That's the
5.
chaos that I call.
But there's a difference in between that for sure. There's a difference in between that for sure. 100%.
Also, minus the emotional part, which Trayvon, I have no idea what the hell you were talking about with that. No emotion.
He's a murderous
Okay,
raving lunatic.
Anyway,
I love
minus
him
the
for that.
emotional
Love him
part.
for that.
There's literally no flaws with Anakin.
Who argued that?
No, but you guys are arguing. You guys are arguing that Rey didn't really have any flaws, but neither did Anakin.
No, that wasn't our argument. Our argument was a person who had that same day never used the Force or a lightsaber, used both of them more proficiently than the guy who had trained his life to be
He
able
wasn't
to
able
use
to
the
control
Force
the
and
lightning. What are you
lightsaber.
talking about?
No. I'm talking about in Force Awakens.
Mhm.
She defeats Kylo with a lightsaber in the Force after not using the Force or a lightsaber ever before in her life. Kylo had been using that shit since he was like 10 years old.
I agree.
So
with
I'm like, that is
shit
my
was
problem.
terrible.
And I would
I'm
argue
not
that
saying that he didn't have
Anakin's-
any flaws.
his emotions and not being able to control them is
It's his biggest flaw. Right.
No,
yeah.
that's why I said minus the emotion part.
Oh, right. But
Oh,
that
they
was
can't say minus the
massive
flaw and say he has no flaws.
That
But
was a massive flaw.
Ray has that same issue though.
Her
She
emotions?
has emotional issues as well.
Yes,
I
that's how the
wouldn't say
lightning
so.
came out. Yeah.
I wouldn't say so. Not like
Yeah.
Anakin.
No.
Definitely
not
not
like
Anakin, but she
Anakin.
Not
definitely
like
did.
Anakin.
Absolutely not. Because if she had him like Anakin, then she never would have she wouldn't have had the ending that she did. She would have Anakin's ending.
Right.
So like
I never
we
compared the
can't-
two.
they're-
I didn't
they're
say
not-
they were on
they're
the
not the
same
same.
emotional element.
Okay.
I'm just
Okay, I
saying
get you.
You keep
I get
talking.
you.
I mean,
they
y'all
both
keep
had
mentioning-
emotional issues. I didn't say they were on the same level playing field. So
All right. Were you saying, Trayvon?
You know, I'm not gonna say this.
Oh, don't
When
do
you
that.
do that,
Don't
just
do
say
that.
it.
Don't do
Come
that.
on,
You gotta
just
say it.
say
Don't
it.
do that.
Jesus, say it.
Can y'all talk about lightsabers like only the Jedi can use them? Like,
But
No,
Ken uses it.
no. See,
Not only
again,
that I can use
you are
it.
missing what we're saying. We're saying that only people
everybody can push the
trained-
button.
No, you have to be trained in order to actually fight somebody who is trained, Trayvon. Like, what?
Like anyone
If
can
I
pick up a
told you-
sword, but
Trayvon, if I
That's what
told
I'm
you
saying.
if I told you right now that I put a gun in James Bond's hand and then a gun in your hand, and you tell me that you killed James Bond, I would wonder what James Bond did you just fight? Like, was it a cardboard cutout? Because ain't no way in hell it was the real thing. I know good and damn well you are not more trained in the ability to use a gun than James Bond is. That's all we're saying.
This is correct.
That's all we're saying.
I probably just be like, go ahead, shoot me. Just go ahead.
Also,
I'll probably put the gun
think about
down.
it like this again, Trayvon, right? Like when Luke
I wouldn't
first went
try.
out to fight Vader,
Mhm.
like what happened?
He lost a hand.
Exactly,
And
right?
Vader
So,
was
like,
being
you mean to
nice.
tell me that like this, like Rey, she was able to defeat him if that was the case, then you know what?
Ben wasn't shit during that era. Ben wasn't shit during that era.
But that's our problem.
Not like Vader. Not like Vader. He wasn't shit.
You are absolutely right. All we're saying is that Ben at 2% should have been better than Rey at 0. And it wasn't. That's what we're trying to say. That's all we're trying to say. But Blake, I'll pass it to you. So pretty much we were saying that Kathleen Kennedy was saying the idea of Rey being related to Obi-Wan Kenobi flies in the face of everything George Lucas created. So my question was, would you have preferred her to be a descendant of Kenobi, or did you like where they kind of took things with Palpatine?
I originally really liked the idea that she was a nobody, that she just so happened to be thrust into this world of like, oh shit, I have to kind of fight for this cause now. And that's cool because we're always so used to like chosen ones and prophecies and like ancestors and descendants. And it's like, just let it be someone. And this cause was just dropped in their lap, which no average person is ever going to be ready for. And she just kind of has to adapt to that. Right. And then they did the Palpatine thing. And it's so unnecessary to connect her to anybody, let alone Palpatine. Like they really wanted to bring him back for some reason. And the fact that she gets the name Skywalker doesn't bother me, but that's where I agree with the rest of you. It just didn't feel earned. Like she knew Luke for such a small fraction of time. And if had he not died at the end of Last Jedi, if they got to continue that relationship in 9, maybe it could have been earned by then. It just, I don't know. I didn't roll my eyes, but when I heard that, I was like I wish that hit me. Like, oh yeah, she earns that name. She is a Skywalker, but I don't know. And when it comes to the power, yeah, I agree. Like that, she was very good very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, but also her being a Palpatine. So my biggest issue, and me, AJ, Trevon, and Sabrina got into like an hour-long argument about Rey. Yeah, about Rey not deserving that last name. But my biggest issue wasn't just her awarding herself. My biggest issue was nobody else in the galaxy knew Palpatine was your grandfather. You could have just went on just calling yourself just Rey. You didn't have to be Rey anything, just Rey. No one knew that Palpatine was your grandfather. So it's not like you were just walking around with the stench of it. Like, no, to me, I would have felt more torn because I'm like, the galaxy knew of Anakin, right? Not really of Vader. Maybe later on they kind of possibly connected those dots. But to be a Skywalker, there's just so much pressure of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want that. I don't want to be a Palpatine. I don't want to be a Skywalker. I'm just Rey.
Exactly.
I'm just Rey.
And it already felt like the biggest ball drop to have to be searching for your parents all this time, only for this asshole to be like, they're nobody and you come from nothing. Like that alone hurts. And then they try to do it again and be like, you're a Palpatine. It's like, just, you were fine the first time. Just stick with that one.
Yep. I don't know. But I was saying to me, because I the reason that she's saying it would essentially be like a spit in the face to George Lucas is we know that Lucas, when he crafted Kenobi, the whole thing was to be separate from attachments, right? That's loved ones, that's falling in love, that's having children. He was supposed to be against that.
As we know from Clone Wars, he did love people and they never worked out, unfortunately, which is his cross to bear. And again,
that's why I was saying though, Blake, I would have been fine if you had told me that Duchess Satine had Kenobi's child, but never told him about it because she was against everything the Jedi stood for. So it would make sense.
There's a popular fan theory that says that.
I doubt they had sex. Okay.
There was a popular fan
theory. Out your goddamn mind. You see how glorious that motherfucker looks? Ain't no way.
You know how Obi-Wan is. He'll be like, but look at Clone Wars. He was doing the exact same thing.
Remember Obi-Wan and Satine. He's told her if she had asked him to leave the Jedi Order,
he would have. He would have.
At some point in time, he wasn't hitting that.
Here's how you time out. Here's how you know that they were intimate together. This motherfucker went into a full-fledged war alone. AJ. Alone. And no help from Anakin. Nobody. Alone. This motherfucker was like,
I will fall in love without having sex, people. Come on now.
You can, but well, am I risking to die for it?
A whole bunch of people would. What are you smoking, sir? What are you smoking?
Hell no, because when I get to them pearly gates, and it's like,
you know me, you wouldn't,
hell no,
but a whole bunch of other people would.
I can tell you right now,
called simps, by the way. That's
Kenobi won't one of them. Kenobi was not one of them.
No, he was.
When he went to Mandalore
Satine,
and saw her for the went to
Mandalore
and saw her again for the first time in forever,
my man could not speak.
And he was lit scared. Up. He was just like
scared.
Woo, damn, Satine, come here. I'm telling you, something happened that night. Some magic happened.
Yeah, just a kiss. I didn't. That's how far I'm willing to go. Just a kiss. There you go.
If Kanan and Hera, they can have their children. If Anakin and Padme can,
that's those two things are different.
Listen,
they were emotional.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you thought Obi-Wan, anyway, Didge, what are your feelings on this? Would you have liked to have seen it play out to be a Kenobi, or did you like how they played it?
It's been interesting. The reason actually I forgot that Kathleen Kennedy had said anything about it. What had made this interesting is I was literally just reading that fan theory. I think it was like a week ago, where they were talking about Satine and Obi-Wan. I forget Bo-Katan and Satine's nephew's name. I always forget his name.
Lux. Lux?
No, Lux isn't theirs.
No, not
Lux
him.
isn't related.
It starts with the Corky.
Yeah.
They were, the whole thing was, he's introduced as their nephew, and the fan theory was talking about how it's so weird that if we keep introducing him as their nephew, they never even acknowledge the fact that they have any other siblings.
Right.
So the fan theory stated was that this is Satine and Obi-Wan's kid, but because of her feelings against the Jedi Order and everything, that's her way of, sort of basically keeping it always under wraps. So I thought this was sort of an evolution of that, because that's such an interesting fan theory. And if you go that route, it goes to what you were saying before of that Rey could have been a Kenobi granddaughter or just further relative. It's like he had this child that he never knew who had a kid, had whatever, and now this is how she's related to that line. It's so much of a better story than her being a Palpatine. We didn't need her to be a Palpatine.
And thanks to the Mandalorian, well, technically it was during the season of Book of Boba, but thanks to the Mandalorian, it would have given us a deeper explanation if you did say that she was part Mandalorian, because when Mandalore was seized and completely blown up, you could have said that her mother gotten her out of that planet.
Yep.
Before the planet exploded. Kind of like a Krypton situation. Like, all right, we got we got Kal-El out of here before the planet exploded. She landed on that planet. She thought she was abandoned. She wasn't.
Right.
All alternative was to die with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would have been a lot cooler for her to be one of those Mandalorian Jedis. Would have been
that would have been so interesting. But like Blake said, I like the idea of just being a nobody. That was probably the best one I liked. Mm-hmm. But if we're ranking the three, definitely her being a Palpatine is the worst out of all of them.
I would agree. Now, if you really wanted to be different, fuck around, make Rey Mace Windu's granddaughter. That'd be wild. Have everybody just like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, I want to be different out here. Ash, did you go yet? I don't think you went yet, did you?
No, I don't think I did.
You didn't go. Okay. So what are your thoughts on this? Where do you go on this?
One, hated her as a Palpatine. But that also because I hate the fact that they brought him back, but just we won't get into the sequels.
Palpatine is the Tupac of Star Wars. He out here still dropping albums.
And I would have just I actually liked her being a nobody. I think that would have been the best bet, especially given just how far away we were from, or at least far enough away from Return of the Jedi. And it would have been just really, really great because The Force Awakens brought in so many new fans, right? And if you didn't really know much about Star Wars then, it was okay because you were being given something new. And I don't know. I would have liked it if she was a nobody because then you could have also like just played with that even more. You could have done so much more with that, have her discover the Force. Like we could have like gotten like new experience with what the Force is like beyond like what we've already seen. Like we could have like gotten more of like the Resistance. There's just, they tried to copy and paste and it failed.
Yeah.
Just point blank period.
Yeah.
Copy and look, paste, it failed. And she's not a Skywalker. So
she's not. Thank you. She is not.
She's not.
And what would have really helped you if you're Kathleen Kennedy, and again, it's really just me trying to push this fucking narrative that I'm in love with, but if she was a Mandalorian Jedi, she could have just went right into this series with the Mandalorian, right? She could have crossed over. Had some, well, no, I'm sorry, not now. Obviously, this is way later, but later on, she could have, crossed over with the Mandalorian if he's even still fucking alive in her timeline. Who knows how long Ahsoka lived for? We know she was one of the voices in that movie. And I know a lot of people are under the impression that you have to be dead to have been one of those voices. That's not true at all. It's clearly not true at all. We just watched Grogu sit on a fucking rock and he called out to Luke without saying a word. So it's like, no, you could definitely speak in different mediums. It just so happened that everybody else was dead. But so I'm like, you could have just done some really fun things with that, with making her Kenobi or half Mandalorian or whatever you wanted to do. There were just better ways than just Palpatine. Like you said, Ash, just recycling Palpatine was just like, why? What made you think after Return of the Jedi, anybody was just like, yo, I might need some more of that Palpatine shit? Like, no, we were good. We were good. You gave it to us then you doubled down on it in the prequels. We didn't need more in the sequels. We were good. We had already had 2 decades of Palpatine. Moving on.
They could have like gave us
Vegas.
Like that's what they could have done. They could have.
Or Snoke.
Or like every time I think about the sequels, I just get so upset. Like we could have gotten so.
I'm gonna cry. I gotta move on. Let's pass it to AJ. I'm gonna cry. I'll never forget when those fan theories came out, and I was just like, "Yes, they're gonna do it. Plagueis. It's Plagueis." And then it was just like, "Nope, Snoke." And it was like, "Okay, I like Snoke. Nope, he's a nobody too." Why? Why couldn't you hit off on one of those?
As a Star Wars villain, and you were like, "Nope, never mind."
To think that he's done more as like a troll or whatever the fuck that thing was from Lord of the Rings than he could have done as a powerful ass Sith is disgusting. Pure disgusting. But AJ, close us out of this topic. What are your thoughts? Because I know you agree with me and Ash and Blake that she ain't no goddamn Skywalker. But what were your thoughts on the possibility?
I think I mean it in a nicer way than everyone else.
Oh, you do.
You ain't gotta just like put me over here by myself like that. Like just.
Well, ain't nobody else on this stream that believe in that.
You had to point that out though. Like,
but, hey, you believe it.
Out over
here. For me. You believe it.
If the shoe fits, Trevon.
You wearing that? You was wearing the hell out of it with Sabrina.
Oh, I am. You see him? You see him? You see it? You see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Yes.
And just to add, I have nothing against Rey. I just think they could have made this character's individuality shine better.
Let me look
and make the character just stand out more.
We're gonna put it in like perspective, okay? I don't think I even knew who the hell Palpatine was when I watched the movie. So let's be honest. So that's me. That's where I was when I watched it. I was like, oh, I don't know who the hell that is. Somebody powerful.
But time out. We're not arguing that. We're arguing your acceptance of her just being a Skywalker. That's what we're.
I don't even know if I. Okay, now I'm gonna say this.
Oh, adoption papers know nothing.
Do not attack me.
Let's hear what you said.
I even cared when she said that. I was like, okay, whatever.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Because
I just thought they were in love or whatever. So
I tell you what,
cool.
AJ,
I didn't care.
Like, AJ is my witness. Knows you. That's not what it sounded like when you and Sabrina was coming for me and AJ that day. You made it sound like you were in.
I double down.
Skywalker.
I double down when people like go against what I.
AJ, we're passing to you. That makes no sense.
I respect it. I respect it.
Have you not noticed
you were just.
I respect it because I did the same thing.
No, you're telling me you're exactly.
I will argue y'all down.
You're exactly what Alfred was talking about. You just like to see the world burn.
Yes,
anyway,
absolutely.
AJ, what are your thoughts on this? What would you have liked to have seen Rey's last name be?
No last name would have been fine with me. You guys already talked enough about it, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But with Kathleen Kennedy's comment, I agree with what she's saying with Obi-Wan and not having any issues or any relationships, because that's not how his character was going forward throughout the Clone Wars, throughout the prequels, throughout any of the Star Wars stories.
Yeah, no sex, so no kids. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh?
No sex or no kids.
But we know sex was happening. Anakin
Do we?
legit just birthed the
I'm
two
not
babies
talking about
behind
Anakin.
you.
I'm talking about Obi-Wan.
Oh, Obi-Wan specifically.
Like-
I thought you were saying there was no sex
Obi-Wan.
happening up in the
Oh, I
the
know.
Jedi
I
Temple.
know. Anakin.
There was no sex happening in the Jedi Temple. Outside the Jedi Temple, for sure.
Man, Anakin was definitely making booty
He was-
calls
he
over
was-
his room.
He was breaking the rules, but yeah.
Anakin was just like, yo, R2, call C-3PO at Padme's. Tell her to come over. Tell her to come over right
You
now.
know Yoda was listening. He knew what was going on.
Yoda knew everything. Yoda was just like,
Apparently not, because he didn't know there was a Sith inside of the Jedi Temple. So
man, y'all are underestimating Yoda. Yoda just didn't care.
yeah, and that's why he got his ass kicked and he ran away
But
to
see,
Dagobah.
I think Yoda thought, yo, I could definitely smoke this motherfucker Palpatine if need be. And then when he fought him, he was just, oh shit, you strong as hell. God damn. All right, maybe I should have said something.
Also, these two old ass people jumping like they and
Like they got them
20s.
knees.
God damn.
Yo, by the way, nobody gives George Lucas credit for this. Palpatine and Yoda created parkour. Nobody ever wants to give them credit for it, but Yoda and Palpatine created parkour.
That shit was nasty.
It was nasty,
Like,
but
that
it gave
was-
birth to a whole era. All right, let's move on. The Acolyte will take place roughly 100 years before Phantom Menace, reveals showrunner Leslie Headland. Okay, sure. All right, but it sounds like fucking Plagueis the Wise better be in that shit. That's what that sounds like to me. That's all I'm saying. Blake, what are your thoughts?
It's funny because that's an era of Star Wars that I'm not necessarily knowledgeable in or just love particularly. I love when Darth Vader first arrives to before we catch up with him in A New Hope, like just kind of that
Gotcha.
that grungy in the middle of war kind of Star Wars feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very opposite of that. This is the High Republic, or is that the era
No,
that
this is
It's High
technically.
Republic.
If it's
Yeah.
after,
Technically, it's High Republic.
High Republic is 300 to 82 BY.
Right.
Okay.
So it would be
Then
around
it
High
is- then
Republic.
it's
And
Yeah.
Old Republic and Republic, it's way
way before, yeah.
before.
Yeah, I don't know a ton about it. I want to see, like you said, Darth Plagueis. I think this is the perfect opportunity to finally give him that live action treatment. He's been built up. I mean, I guess just in episode 3, if you don't
That
count
was
like
it.
any of the other books or video games or anything. But I'm excited, and is it supposed to even be focused on the Sith, like the Dark Side, just based on that logo?
Yes. So the rumor I heard is it's about a defecting Sith. So somebody that's struggling with whether or not she wants to be a Sith anymore.
Okay.
So it's kind of living in between two worlds,
Mhm.
essentially.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm like, well, then that's perfect. Young ass Yoda, old ass Plagueis the Wise. Yeah.
Young. No,
I
Yoda's
feel
still
like they
old.
would try to.
Wait.
Yoda's
Oh
still
shit.
old.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking the wait, is it New Republic? What's the books that are out now where Yoda's like
High
young as
Republic.
shit? It
That's
is High
funny.
Republic.
Yeah, High Republic.
Yeah, that's what I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 years before Phantom Menace. Yeah.
Question: how old is he in Phantom Menace?
Don't ask me that. I have no idea,
Isn't
AJ.
it?
Yoda ages
Isn't
like
he like
like
800?
Earth. I don't fucking
He
know.
died when he was 900. So in Phantom Menace, he's not that much younger.
Yeah,
in
that's
Yoda,
He's in his
Let's
800s.
just
He's
assume
in his
it's-
We're
800s
talking 100 years
Phantom Menace.
before that then. We're talking
So he's
100
still
years
like-
before
So
that.
he's
then.
probably like
800,
600 years old,
600,
maybe.
700. That's
Then it's not-
600,
hold on.
Then it's not the High
Still old.
Republic then. Then it's not the High Republic then.
That is the High Republic.
High Republic Yoda is young. The photos of Yoda from that book are young as shit, AJ.
I'm gonna show you some. I'm gonna
Hold
show you
on.
some pictures of Yoda in the High Republic. But
Okay.
the
'Cause I-
Yoda you're talking about, that's not Yoda. But okay.
That is Yoda.
He's around 700 years old during the High Republic.
Yeah.
700 years old.
Yeah, and I remember that because I started reading the High Republic, and like he's around, like he's not like wise like he is now, but he's a little bit like more open and hopeful in like the High Republic, like that.
Oh shit, because he wasn't in the
yeah, like, and
he
that's
wasn't
like,
in that Clone Wars era.
Yeah,
Yoda
like,
was just like, y'all all gonna die.
Yeah, he's like one,
He's like, good luck, I'm leaving.
Yeah, like he's more well-rounded in this one, at least in the first book that I read.
Okay, because I do remember Yoda from those books. Yeah. I was just wrong on his age, but I'm like, Yoda definitely existed 100 years before Phantom Menace. He 100% existed. I just thought he was drastically younger. And I don't know why, but a lot of people keep confusing themselves. There was no Darth Maul 100 years before Phantom Menace, so
yeah,
you guys should calm down on that.
Yeah.
There was maybe a Darth Maul 20 years before Phantom Menace, but not 100. 100? What? Right. Darth Maul was youthful as hell.
Exactly. And you think that if it was 100 years ago, that like Sidious, like, you know, like if
first of all, if I'm Darth Maul and it was 100 years ago,
and I let Sidious,
I'm working for you. Yeah, hell no, bitch, I'm killing you ASAP.
Come on now, boy, like that. Don't do that.
Ash, what are your thoughts on the Acolyte series? You excited for this?
I am very excited for this because if there's two things that I always say that I want from Star Wars, more of post Return of the Jedi, but I want also the High Republic. Like I loved Clone Wars because it just expanded more of the Republic. Like it gave us so much more. And I'm like, I always want to, as someone who loves to explore worlds and like with fiction and all of that, I want to know what exactly was this world like before. And I love that we're getting it in the books, but as like for a lot of like people who don't really read the books and that's not their mediums to like get Star Wars, this is also another really great moment to introduce and bring in new fans. And so like, I'm pretty excited. I also love that it's like the Sith that we're focusing on instead of the Jedi, because a lot of the High Republic is focusing on the Jedi right now. And so I just love that we're going to get the Sith. Maybe we don't know like what she's going to be like just what is her story going to be. So I also love that it's another woman that we're also focusing on. So it's like, yes, like for all of the reasons, I'm like, give this to me, like just be Star Wars and, you know, have my lightsabers in it too and all of that. I'm pivoting a little bit on Joanne's side. So, you know, so that's how I feel about it. I'm really excited for it.
And this is supposed to be a movie?
No, a series.
A series, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like that just gives us even more material to work with. Like just
and it's 100 years, so it's like you could have multiple seasons, however many seasons you wanted to. It's just blank canvas.
I mean, the first
like, not
season
truly blank canvas
over a week.
Right, 100%. Right, yeah. So it's like, all right, season 2 next month. Perfect. Season 3 a year later, like whatever you want to do, you have that canvas to
and Yoda looks the same throughout the whole show,
right? People are just like, wait, when does this take place? And it's just like, don't worry, Yoda's always looked that old.
And then give us more background on like Yoda and like him and like his people and his species. Like I want, like I just also want.
I don't think you could do that. I think if you respect anything about George Lucas,
never mind.
Yeah,
anyway,
George
was like very specific on that.
No.
Listen,
I was not trying to do what Kathleen was trying to do. I'm sorry. Don't.
I'm sorry, but I'm with Ash before she decided to
back away.
I was going to say, if it was from George Lucas, we would still have the rule of 2. We don't need that shit.
What was wrong with the rule of 2?
We don't need that shit. We need all the Sith.
Yeah,
all
like
of them.
I want like
I don't need all the Sith.
I
want all the Sith. Like
if you want Old Republic, you want
Sith
all the Sith.
Got me into Star Wars. So give me.
I'm just trying to say, if you would let me say,
no,
it's fine in war times. But outside of war times, I don't need like 9 million fucking Sith just walking around. No, it pollutes it at that point, AJ. It pollutes it.
Why? Okay, we can take.
Why? Wait, who said why? Trevon, you said why? Oh, you said why? It pollutes it because it's just like, all right, well, now there's 9 million of you. I like when the focus is just on the 2 of you, and you can kind of just explore that more. But when there's 9 million of you, fuck, am I keeping up with all 9 million of you?
You think they'll stick together?
First of all, Trevon, time out.
No.
You can't even say that because Dave Filoni in the Clone Wars era, you only saw like 10 Jedi. That was it. You saw the same 10 road. That's fine. AJ's talking about the 2 times in Star Wars history where there were like thousands of fucking.
And I want that.
Jedi.
I
don't need that throughout the history of Star Wars. Is all I'm saying. In the timelines where it fits, sure, but I don't need it in every era.
In the dark.
I need it every year.
I don't need it every era. Every era is too excessive. That's just too fucking much. Goodness gracious.
Post Phantom Menace. That's what I need. I need all the Sith, everything.
Yes, I just said that. No, post Phantom Menace, not pre. I don't need that shit after. All right. Trevon, what are your thoughts on Acolyte?
So this is okay. This is something that George Lucas never touched on, correct?
In the books, this timeline, yeah, but not in the movie.
In the movie,
well, George Lucas never did the books.
Say it again, AJ.
George Lucas never did the books.
No. But George Lucas was the roadmap for all the books. So I'm saying this is a timeline that's been touched on. You've never seen it, is what I'm trying to say. You've read it, but not seen it.
So technically, they could have other powers. Right?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I'm just saying.
You look into this.
You are consistent.
This is how I think. Okay, look, they're almost with the lightning and shit. Like, I want to see something else. What other powers y'all got?
Give me fire.
Like, I'm just saying. Like, come on, they could have it, right? And they could just die away, and they just don't know they could do it.
I mean, honestly, Trevon, you're not wrong. You're not wrong because
I'm not arguing whether he's right or wrong. I'm just arguing how I asked him, is he excited for Acolyte? And this guy goes, yeah, what new powers y'all got back there? You got any new powers back there?
Look, I'm being honest. This is exactly what I thought about when I first heard where this was going. I said, how long ago? I said, oh, so they could have had like more abilities. Just like in Clone Wars, they learn about, what is it? Force goes wherever the hell, like, so they learned about more shit that they could do. I was like, so back then they could have had some more shit they could have done. Please show me that. Well, that's fine.
I mean, they did say they're fine. Like, ooh.
But if you want to introduce it today, you can, but in none of those books could they do anything drastically different than what Jedi and Sith can do. I don't
see flight being a look. Okay, look, force jumping. All they gotta do is jump and maintain it. Listen, it'd be so cool. Look, at least I'm consistent, okay?
But what you're saying is just frustrating because it's
opening.
Like,
this is my opening.
One of the coolest things of Star Wars is the ships, and now you're trying to take that away because now motherfuckers
they can't fly in space. I ain't saying fly in space,
but they use ships on the planet. They use the ships on the planet.
But the Jedi won't need it. Imagine the Sith don't need it, man. They just fly up on the
We are talking about the same Star Wars where we got nihilists who can eat planets. But hey, there we go.
Is there anything outside of expanding your palette of powers that you are excited about?
I mean, I already know who the Sith are. Like, this is cool, but it's like, unless he got some more abilities or something, I'm just saying. This is how I think. Sorry. Like, I already seen a Sith.
Let me just ask you this. Is there ever a narrative?
You gotta have some different abilities. You gotta have something.
But like, is there ever a narrative that you're excited about? Like, man, I heard that's a really good story.
What kind of, I mean, when it's all Palpatine, he corrupts, he gets somebody behind him.
It's not about Palpatine, though.
I know, but it's still a Sith. They corrupt, they get their apprentice. What else is this storyline gonna be about?
How old is Palpatine actually? How old is he?
Palpatine at this point in his 30s, maybe 30s, 40s, 30s.
So he's still rising to power at this time.
Remember, he hasn't killed Plagueis yet. Where this takes place, he wouldn't have had
like
killed
the politician him because like he was also like
this was still him starting to rise.
So that's what I'm saying. So like he would be like rising in power. Like he's not like really thinking big.
Not yet.
This time. Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Not
that's
yet.
What I thought. Yeah.
Not yet. Is Plagueis just like this motherfucker might kill me tomorrow? Yeah. Not yet. We're not there yet.
But he was fucked up though. He absolutely was.
Palpatine was. He He was great at chess, that's for sure. He just said, "Bitch, I want you dead." AJ,
I just looked this up. So Palpatine was 52 years old.
Oh, okay. I was lowballing it. Okay.
During the time of the prequels.
Okay. Okay. Oh, wait. You saying during the prequels?
Yeah. No, 65. Sorry, 65.
65.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I wasn't. Well, if we're talking, I don't think Palpatine. See, they're saying 100 years. That's what's. And shout out to Christian Harloff, because he was telling me, he's like, if they do 100 years, I don't think you will get Plagueis in Palpatine. And now I'm sitting here just sitting on it. I'm like, if he's 65 during the prequels, no fucking way we're getting Palpatine.
So this is
years
absolutely ago. Sith that nobody has interacted with, so they can't have different abilities. Yes, okay.
No one ever argued that.
So
though.
powers died away.
That. No one argued that. I said that they could open it up. I just wanted you to speak on something that wasn't flying or
I don't
some
know
kind of
what,
witchcraft.
I don't know what else to. I mean, I don't know what else to talk about. Like, I know it's Sith. I know about apprentices. I know about.
To be fair,
let me ask you this:
Did
you ever?
That no one really knows about, so.
Did you ever watch those? That cinematic trailer that me and AJ sent you about Knights of the Old Republic?
Yeah, I saw that.
You did watch it. Did you get anything from that? That's essentially what this is. It's just like one massive world war between the Sith and the Jedi.
Okay.
Before there's a modicum of peace, before it just repeats itself. Because Knights of the Old Republic, Sith were
technically
gone,
this is
and then they showed up.
This is not the war era, so this is where Sith is more into hiding more than anything else.
This is like
because we don't really get that much Sith in High Republic.
They're doing a lot of building right now.
High Republic.
We don't get. I swear to God,
I swear to God, I feel like their hiding didn't start till 50 years before the prequels. 100 years, they have to still be active. They have to still be active.
This is why Acolyte is going into terrain that really nobody really
got you.
Okay.
Why are they okay?
So like this is also like this is the
they lost the war. That's why they were hiding.
Republic, the Sith is there. They like the Sith is there with the High Republic because at this time
they're there,
like, but when they're trying to
their
build
presence is there,
power,
but they're really not there.
Not
they're
like,
still in hiding. Yeah,
they're not.
It's
like,
not.
Hiding.
It's not a war, but they're active. Is all I'm saying. They're active. They're for sure active.
Yeah, like they're in the background. They're just they think like just like in this like Republic and everything. Like they think everything's going great, etc., etc. But no, they're like in the background. They're like actually doing shit.
Right. AJ, what are you excited about for the Acolyte?
Finally get lightsabers.
So why didn't you defend me yesterday when I was saying that? Where I was saying I only care about lightsabers. You're like, not me. Why didn't you defend me?
Wait, who said not? I did not say not me.
Man, all y'all
go back to that video because I would never say not me.
Killing me. Y'all were killing me when I'm just like, I only give a fuck about lightsabers.
We can't all be on the same team. Sometimes we got to mix it up a little bit.
If you believe it, you can. Don't just be leaving me out to dry if you believe it.
No, sometimes you got to learn how to fight your own battle.
Well,
I'm sure I never said that with lightsabers.
If that's the case, I mean, maybe you should join me in my flight morning. I'm just saying, leave me out there by myself.
Everything to fly, Trevon.
Okay, every once in a while, you can be on my side. Okay,
once in a while, you say
it does make sense. It makes sense for Acolyte to have different. It can happen. Okay, all right.
But flight is such a boring power.
No, it's
not.
That's
what I'm saying. Like what?
Flight is so basic.
It's cool.
It is so basic.
Trevon, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was done with Flight right after I saw Superman for the first time. I was just like, this shit is fake. like it's way much cooler to see this guy with a cape that doesn't fly than this guy with a cape that does.
When I think of Flight, I think of more of Captain Marvel flying in space or just doing whatever the fuck she wants.
I'm sorry. Do you think Superman can't fly into space?
I'm just saying she's glowing. She's glowing and stuff. He just looks normal. Like it's just I don't know.
We will move on. It's okay. We'll move on. Lucasfilms reportedly has indicated that Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie is now likely to release before Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. That's no shock. That Rogue Squadron movie will never happen.
Can I make this prediction before you even start? Okay,
go ahead. You can.
So we got the Ryan Johnson shit that's in the back burner. That shit is not happening. That's canceled.
Right.
They're just not going to say it until like a few years later. That's
just in case he does free up and they actually do want to move forward in it. So I will say that there's a sip, because here's the thing. There's never been a report that there was any issues between Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, right?
But it has been between the fans and Rian Johnson. So.
Kathleen Kennedy doesn't give a fuck about that. But there is a large. There was a report that there was issues between Patty Jenkins and Kathleen Kennedy, like just differences on what the story was going to be. So I'm like, I can see Patty Jenkins being somebody that's like, I don't need this shit. Like, fuck it, I don't need to do it. And I see Kathleen Kennedy saying, well, fair, your shit didn't have lightsabers in it anyway. Fuck it, be gone. Like, I could very much just see Kathleen.
Okay, I wouldn't say the lightsaber part, but everything else, yeah, you're right.
Are you guys watching the pattern of, them getting directors and them dropping out?
But that's in the past. I'm with you, Trevor, on that, but that's in the past.
I'm sorry, time out. Who dropped out? Only Colin Trevorrow dropped out, and then the original directors for Solo. That's it. Who else dropped out?
Remember the guy that was doing Fantastic Four? He was doing one, and all of a sudden, that was out too.
But he didn't drop out. He didn't drop out.
He came over.
He didn't drop out of Star Wars. He joined Star Wars.
Yeah, you mad because he dropped out of Fantastic?
Yeah, that's Marvel. Get your head out of Marvel.
I'm not talking. I ain't gonna
lie. I'm pretty
talking about the other Fantastic Four movie before this.
Josh Trank.
Yeah, he was ready to do one too. He said he didn't want to do any more studio things after that, and he just dropped out.
I don't remember Josh Trank was doing Star Wars.
He was going to do something too.
I don't remember that.
It keeps happening. It just keeps.
I only know 3 times.
Patty Jenkins, Wonder Woman, not good. Out. Like it's just
but remember, she hasn't been dropped yet. She dropped. We just know that it's on the back burner. And look, Kathleen Kennedy was very specific about Rian Johnson. She said that it's because he's busy. He's busy doing Knives Out 2 and all other shit. That he didn't make time to do Star Wars. Right.
They're waiting to see how.
But that's where this quote that she was talking about before makes me think that shit's never going to happen. There's a quote saying that she just wants directors and storytellers to be committed to only Star Wars for 3, 5, or 4 years. Okay. So she wants them to stay committed. Rian Johnson is not committed right now, so. I guarantee
I don't like that. I don't like that. And here's why I don't like that. If you're building a universe, right? I don't think every movie, I don't even think a full series should necessarily have one director. It just needs one vision. So to me, I feel like if somebody wants to do Star Wars A and someone wants to do B, someone else wants to do C, someone else for D and E, just have one singular vision and you can have multiple directors. To me,
she didn't say there was just going to be one director for the entirety.
No, I get you, but I'm saying if you come in and you're like, hey, I want to do this Kenobi movie, I don't feel as though I need to be able to shackle you to doing the second one, the third one, the fourth one. If you want to just do this movie, fine. To me, I like it better when you change shit up. Cool. Have Colin Trevorrow do Obi-Wan Kenobi 1. And then bring in Rian Johnson for Obi-Wan Kenobi 2. Your problem just has to be they all have one vision, right? It's not like, all right, the Kenobi 1 movie is drastically different than the Kenobi 2. One vision can have multiple different faces. So to me, I don't need you invested for 10 years. I need you invested for whatever you're working on. You want to do this? Make it perfect. Then 5 years later, you want to do that? Make it perfect. That's what Feige realized. He was like, I can't fucking hold these actors down. And that's why he hasn't done that in like a decade. Actors are free to come and go. You want to do this and then go? Cool. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like if Feige realized
there's a difference between actors and writers and directors. Writers and directors with Kevin Feige, they stay until everything is planned out.
I'm out.
Sure.
Let me ask you this. What do you think is harder to replace, an actor or a director?
A director.
So if he doesn't hold an actor down, you damn sure shouldn't be holding no directors down. That's all I'm trying to say. So if right now, what's his name? What's his name that was just Moon Knight?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac says tomorrow, I'm done. That's harder to replace than if the showrunners for Moon Knight said, I don't want to come back.
They replace actors all the time in Marvel.
First of all, you're talking about Hulk that isn't, you can make an argument, isn't on the level of Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. And then they replace War Machine. You could make a case that those are somewhat secondary characters. You go out there and try to replace Captain Marvel tomorrow. and see if that doesn't spin the whole
Also,
goddamn globe.
They did.
To be fair, they
at the beginning
they would get mad anyway. As long as the movie's good, people will be fine with it afterwards.
No, I won't.
I just saw a movie where they completely butchered Luke Skywalker, and it was the right actor. I didn't say, all right, well, as long as you got the right actor, I'm good. No.
See, the key word you just said is butchered. I said if the movie is good, then everybody will be
that movie wasn't good either. So they butchered the character and the movie was shit.
I think we're talking about two different things here. Like replace it, like the Hulk thing, that was just I feel like that was a whole new Hulk to me. That's how I looked at it. I didn't feel like, oh, I need to check on this other one. And then the War Machine thing, that happened like his second movie. And they like addressed it at the beginning of the movie by his little throwaway line, and that was it. They have not replaced any main character. Like
they didn't replace the character; they replaced the actor.
They're not going to do that. I'm saying that they haven't done that. When have they done that with any other character since then?
Since like Hulk and War Machine?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, they have
done it.
Yeah, they have. Yeah. All right. I agree. I don't think that's something you should try to do. But yeah, so from what I heard, it appears that this Taika movie is apparently about the origin of the Force. Like it was like when it was in the abilities. That
oh my God. Yes. Oh, please. Yes, Taika. Let me tweet him. They should have been able to fly from the beginning. Let me tweet him. Yes. Oh my God.
Anyway, I believe it was a storyline of when they were inside that like triangle cube thing or whatever, and it was like the
holocron when they're inside the holocron.
No, it was like a planet, but it's called something, and I'm completely blanking. But it was about the idea of keeping it balanced, like not using it for necessarily good or evil, just keeping it completely balanced. And it was when
Anakin goes and son and daughter.
No. This is like millennials.
About when Ezra went into the place to get Ahsoka out.
No, that's also not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there was
creation of the Force. What did you say?
It was like the creation of the Force. It was like this planet that was in like this diamond thing, and it was about balancing the Force. And I think it erupted when somebody used it for evil, and that's where kind of charted the path of like the dark side. I could be completely talking out of my ass, but I believe when they announced Taika and he was on stage and he showed the poster, like the image for what he was going to be doing, it looked exactly like that. And I know I was talking with a bunch of people and we were like, yeah, it looks like that, but I could be wrong.
That to me.
I could be wrong. I don't, what, the photo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look it up and find it. Blake, I'll start off with you. Are you intrigued in this Taika movie, and what are your thoughts on the possibility of Patty Jenkins' movie being on the outs?
I'll start with Patty Jenkins because I did not care whatsoever about Rogue Squadron, and it's not because of her, like the talent behind it. It's just like the video game. I'm not the biggest fan of the and this is a hot take, of the space battles, like with the ships. I love the opening fight for Revenge of the Sith. That's probably the highest I get when it comes to those battles, but I could not care for Rogue Squadron. I'm sure that would have changed had I seen a trailer or just like actually heard more of specifically what it was going to be about. But the fact that it's either on the back burner or just straight up not happening does not hurt me in the slightest. So I have very quickly moved on from that. But I love Taika's style of filmmaking. He can tell a very serious story and let serious moments breathe while also bringing so much comedy to it. And I do like his style of comedy. So I'm very excited to see what he can bring to Star Wars because I love what he brought to Marvel. Thor Ragnarok's one of my favorite movies in the MCU. And Thor Love and Thunder looks really good too. He not only does he have his own style, but he knows how to use it with whatever he's adapting. Like Ragnarok had those bright colors, Thor had his armor back, and same goes for Love and Thunder. Looks like he's very accurately adapting the comics, especially one shot is literally lifted from a comic, which is pretty cool. So I expect a very Star Wars feeling Star Wars show. And I shouldn't have to say that because of how Star Wars has kind of felt lately, but I trust him to tell a good story and actually have it feel like not only his original project, but coherently fitting inside the Star Wars universe. So of all the Star Wars projects that have been announced so far, that's one of the ones at the top of my list.
Yeah, I'm a big Taika fan. So to me, it's just like, I mean, the man's batting 100 right now. So whatever he's doing, I'm down for. I am a fan of the flight battles. And I thought Patty could have really brought a grandiose stage for that. To me, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I wanted Hera as the lead, right? I don't think she was going to use Hera. I think she was going to make an original character. And that's where I started to lose some of my interest. But she would have regained it when I saw a trailer, because like you said, the beginning of Revenge of the Sith is easily one of my favorite parts of that entire movie. It's just seeing the galactic battle ensue, and it's like, this is fucking epic.
The technology we have now.
With the Trevon, it looked beautiful then. Today, it would look billion times better. So for me, I've always been a fan of that. Now, I don't like playing it. But watching it is always a beauty. But playing it, you put a lightsaber in my hand. But watching it, I'm always down for that. So I would have been interested if they told me tomorrow she's moving forward on it, I wouldn't be like, oh, what? I would be like, okay, all right, now I just need more information, because I'm like, Hera is the perfect person. Even if you just make the story about Hera being like the essential teacher or leader, and then like she sacrificed, and whoever this new character is has to step up and fill in for Hera, like whatever you want to do in that vein, I could accept, but Hera needs to be a part of it. But Ash, what are your thoughts? Would you be excited for Patty's movie if she does move forward in it? And your thoughts on Taika's?
I don't know much about him, so I don't think I can like speak to like him. So like I'll focus like on Patty in her movie, and I would have like loved to see like what you were saying. I was like literally thinking about Hera, and just I think she's like one of the best pilots there is, and she would have been the perfect person to like lead with that, because one, she's not an unfamiliar character. Well, if you don't watch Rebels, then like she's unfamiliar to you, but like if you watch Rebels, you already have people that are very familiar with her. We know what she can do there, and she already has a story that was established. So like you really didn't have to do much with her, except like just make her Hera. And I love the space battles. Like I love that. Like that's like one of my favorite things about Star Wars. Like even though I have a lot of feelings about Rise of Skywalker, the entire ships showing up, Exegol, that entire like scene there, like I loved that. Like that was like chef's kiss for me. So like I would have loved to like see it. I don't think it's gonna happen. If it happens, cool, great. If it doesn't happen, I'm like, I'm fine. I'm getting all of the other stuff that I care about. Like I'm getting Ahsoka, I'm getting the Acolytes, I'm getting Endor. I'm getting all of the things I want there. And so she's like, that's my feelings.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's one of those that if it doesn't happen, cool. If it does happen, I'm very intrigued on what the story is going to be. Because I do enjoy what she's brought to Wonder Woman. She's brought life to it and some fucking color. God damn.
About 84?
No, I'm just saying color to the character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I won't argue that movie was something for sure. But Trevon, what are your thoughts? We said flying, so I know that perked your ears, but it's ships, not a being able to fly. But what are your thoughts on the possibility of the Rogue Squadron not happening, and then your thoughts on what Taika's movie could be?
Well, okay, so I'll talk about, I guess, Patty first. Yeah, it should be Hera. It would be really cool if they did that. And then I'll be with you guys. Hey, you guys like watch Clone Wars. I'll be like, watch Rebels. Like I'll be able to join in on the harassment of people. Yeah. I mean, I feel bad. I guess I feel bad that's not happening because she seemed to be excited about it. Like with that announcement video and stuff that she did.
Yeah, because of her dad.
Yeah, she was excited to do it. So I was like, oh, Maybe she still will. I don't think so, but after the response of Wonder Woman 84, kind of, let's see if Wonder Woman 80, whatever the third one, see if that happens. Maybe they'll like.
By the way, I meant to say that when you said that before about Rian Johnson, that doesn't really matter to studios anymore today. Like, it has to be a massive flop for a studio to want to back away from a director. But Patty Jenkins and Rian Johnson are too big of names for a studio to shy away from them. Now, if you do a project underneath them and fuck it up, the likelihood of them calling you back is slim to none. But if you fail somewhere else, because a lot of things go into movies failing. Like, what if a movie didn't do good because the studio didn't give you a budget to market it, so you couldn't really expand it to the whole world. So a lot goes into it than just like, oh, you just made a bad movie. So I don't think, regardless of what Knives Out 2 does, Rian Johnson, if he wants, can still do a Star Wars movie, regardless of how it does in the box office. Because look, Kathleen Kennedy was saying she understands that Solo didn't do what it should have in the box office, right? But I guarantee you that if Ron Howard calls Kathleen Kennedy tomorrow and says, I want to do another Star Wars movie, she's not going, no, you fucked up with Solo. She would go, hell yes. Yes, whatever you want to do. AJ, you're muted.
Yeah, there was a lot of issues with Solo.
Right.
Budget was definitely one of them. That shit just kept on expanding.
It was also worked on before he got there. He got there and had to try to piece it to make it his own.
And he did pretty good.
When you look at the parts of that movie that are Ron Howard, like legit he had from beginning to end, it's beautiful. And then look what his daughter's been doing with Star Wars. So clearly the shit runs in the family. I have no reason to believe.
She needs a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no reason to believe that if you gave Ron Howard a Star Wars script and let him kind of mold it to be his own from the get, he would make a classic. He would make a classic. So that's all I wanted to say, Trevon. I just don't think in today's world, if you fail somewhere, it stops you from being able to succeed somewhere else. I think studios are more open because there's just so many things that go into it nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it happens. I mean, it'd be cool. I mean, I don't know about the original character thing, but like you said, once I see a trailer, I'll be like, okay, cool, it looks fun. Like, whatever. Taika, I mean, I already said where my mind went when I first heard that. It's like I didn't know that's what his movie's gonna be about. Now it makes me even more intrigued. As you saw with the tweet I just put out. But yeah, but other than that, but yeah, I'm he's fun. Like he's always like he brings energy, he brings like a different aspect. Like look what he did to Thor, like you guys were saying earlier. Like I can't wait to see what he would do with a Star Wars movie. I don't know if everybody will like it, but I think it'll be because it'll be kind of. I feel like it'll be quite different than the other movies. If I'm thinking about comparing Thor Ragnarok to, because you can't help but compare that to the Star Wars movie. Like, oh, let's see, would you guys like that tone? I don't know, but I like it. I don't know if you can everybody feel, but yeah.
To me, Star Wars can be. To me, Star Wars can be whatever you want to mold it tone wise. It's just all the other things you have to hit hard on. And again, Rian Johnson learned this lesson. Star Wars fans aren't like these run-of-the-mill Marvel and DC fans. Star Wars fans, when they know their shit, they know their shit. So if they're looking for something, it's best you put that shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, this right here, like the creation of the Force, like nobody really like has a prerequisite to it. Like, hey, what was that in the movies? Nobody knows. So he can kind of free reign, like you're saying earlier about.
Well, that's the one thing that's slightly different is Star Wars is never really outside of Clone Wars had a cartoon counterpart. So like you were saying, like a lot of what you know about Marvel is from the cartoons and stuff you watch, or DC, the cartoons you watch. Star Wars, it's only Clone Wars. But there's so much more story of Star Wars that is just books. Just books.
Yeah.
So for a lot of Star Wars fans, they read those said books. Fuck a movie, fuck a cartoon. They read the books. So the creation of the Force is definitely something that was touched in books. But I'm not holding that over Taika's head. Whatever you want to make it that. Look, you made Thor one of my top 5 all-time favorite Marvel characters. It wasn't that before Taika. So if you could do that with just Thor, I'm very interested to see what you do in Star Wars. So for me, I'm giving him, there's no leash on him. Do whatever you want. Just make it as glorious as Thor Ragnarok was.
Flight. But yes. Okay, that's all I got. Okay. Stop getting annoyed with me. God.
AJ. It's not you I'm annoyed with. It's that every day you say Flight, it makes me hate Flight more and more.
It is things that open it up for me. It's not my fault. You guys are telling me things that makes it possible.
Oh my goodness. AJ, are you excited for Taika's project and whenever we get any news on where they're at with Patty's project?
Well, I was excited for Patty's project with all the ships, the flight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you, Trevon. I want the flight too. So I like that, especially since we got Rogue One, the Battle of Scarif.
Hold on. Time out. Hold on. Back up, because those two things were completely different.
What?
The flight I meant was in a fucking ship. The flight he meant was he wants his characters to be flying.
Oh, that was so. You're late on that one.
That's why I'm like, when you say, yeah, Trevon and Juwan, I agree with you. I'm like, no. Trevon wants people to fly. I want ships.
Hey, flight is flight. Flight is flight. Okay, flight is flight. Anyway, I was excited for Patty Jenkins' movie. So there's that. Taika, still don't know what he's doing with this project. If what you're saying is true, then please, I would love to have the creation of the Force movie. That's probably what most of us really, really want, because that's one of the most interesting things for Star Wars is the Force and the just the whole war of Sith versus Jedi. That's probably the most interesting thing for Star Wars fans in general. So to get that in a live action movie for the first time would be pretty cool. So yeah,
I wouldn't be against it. All right, so I'm not going to do all these. I'm just do one or two more before we get out of here. I want to go right to this one because I thought this one would be really fun, especially with Trevon being as far as he is in Clone Wars. Favorite moment of Kenobi or of Darth Vader. So you got to pick one or the other. I'll start so I don't put anyone on the hot seat. If I had to go a Vader moment, it's not a movie moment. It's a comic moment. And it has to be when Vader killed his first Jedi, if you don't count Maz Kanata.
This is first.
Killed his first Jedi and then fucking bled his crystal. That is one of my favorite Vader moments all time.
J1, you sent me the list of stuff we'd go over, and when I read favorite Darth Vader moment, I was like, that. The crystal and the light, that whole comic.
That whole comic is epic. Like Trevon, I never push reading comics on people. But if you could find, just look up. Actually, no, I got a perfect place for you to go. And I usually don't do cross promotions at all unless I'm being paid. But go to Star Wars Theory on YouTube. And he does like an audio version of that Vader comic. Like that whole, it's like maybe an hour, 2-3 hours. You don't have to do it all in one sitting, but just kind of get a gist of it. That whole Vader run was just fucking legendary.
Like, what is it called? Is it just?
It is just called Vader comic, right? Like
it's just Vader.
Yeah. So check it out whenever you want, Trevon. But it'll make you appreciate next Friday and whatever happens after next Friday a lot more. Seeing, because this takes place 10 years after he first becomes Vader, so you don't see the first few years of what he does to become Vader. Right? You don't see him fighting without certain limbs because the Jedi cut. Like Vader does some real sick ass shit. Like, oh my god, love it. So for me, AJ, I'm going with just the start of the Vader comics, man. So Blake, so you agree with me? You're going the start of the Vader comics,
and that was like the first issue. Like that was your intro to Darth Vader, just to change it out because that is my favorite. My favorite movie moment. I would want to say Rogue One just because of all that, but honestly, it's probably when he saves Luke in Return of the Jedi. As a kid, I've always loved that looking back and forth, and ultimately, he's just like, "Oh fuck it! Like I'm not this monster. I don't want to die this way. It looks like that's it for me anyway. So I want to go out on a high note." And just seeing a vulnerable Vader, I really like that.
Yeah, it was his redemption. So I always appreciate when you look back at his redemption because that is important. Yeah. Ash, you going Kenobi or Vader?
Oh, Vader. Of course.
Making sure I had to ask.
I got like 3. I got one line. I'm gonna say the line because I really love that line. I don't know what comic it's from, but it's like I think they're like telling him to like drop his weapons, and all he says like, "All I see around me is dead men and fear." And I'm like,
Star Wars Vader Down issue 1 by Jason Aaron.
Like that's like my favorite line. But my favorite moment, I was going to go with Rogue One because like I can that's like literally one of my love that moment. But I'm gonna go with the March on the Jedi Temple. Like we don't get to see
that counts,
but just
that counts.
It does. Thank you. Thank you. But just him, just the shot of him just marching, the stormtroopers just like that is just beautiful. Like the only thing I wish like we had with that was like his theme that was like going with that. Like that's like the one thing I always
be a crazy time to introduce that theme.
That would have been a really crazy time. Like, hey, I became Vader like an hour ago and I already got my theme. I told John Williams, get in the booth and drop something.
Didn't we hear it though when Palpatine says Darth Vader?
Yeah,
we do, but not during the march. Not during
the
I agree.
A beautiful place to have it. So I'm gonna go March on the Jedi Temple because like
you know what I appreciate about you using the march as your moment, Ash, is that Trevon hasn't experienced that yet. So like when Trevon experiences just how truly devastating Vader was before becoming the Vader that you know there, it's just the power was untapped. It was untapped. He hadn't even tapped into all of it yet. And you can make the case that his emotions is why he even lost in the first place. If he was seeing things clearly, no problem, Trevon, no problem. If he saw things clear, oh my God, he would have ripped through Kenobi.
Show that's
prime, absolutely.
Right? Wait, say it again, Blake.
This is Vader in his prime, right? Coming up in this Kenobi.
Yes. It's only 10 years.
Green ever.
Yep, it's only 10 years, so it's very much in his prime. Very, very, very much in his prime.
That's no good.
That's no good for anybody. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm very curious how he escapes from Vader, because it's like...
That's, like, what I want. Like,
that has to be some really good storytelling.
Exactly.
It's real hard for me to believe that once Vader sees Kenobi, he stops looking for him. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be real interesting to see how they pull that off.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say this right now. If that moment... isn't that moment, if it is, I will be disappointed. Like
I'll say
there's a lot riding on
disappointed.
There is, and this is where the hardship for Deborah's really going to come in at, is you can't do what Infinity War did. You can't do what any of these other movies did, where it was even King Kong vs. Godzilla. There was a clear winner in that movie, right? There was a clear winner in Endgame. There was a clear winner in Infinity War. It was never to be debated, right? So with this, you have a hardship of you can't make Vader seem less than. You also can't make Kenobi seem less than. So how do you end this battle where both can save face, right? Where no one looks like he gave to the other. That's what's going to be fun to see, Deborah, which I could have asked if Disney let us do roundtables for these goddamn press things. Like, how do you structure a battle where you can't make either one of them lose face because it's the height of both of them, right? So it's like Kenobi's power hasn't dwindled since he retired. And Vader's power is only growing by the day. So how do you make this battle to where neither one of them has it taken out?
When an
so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Meet an immovable object.
Yep. Yep.
I'm ready. Give me
I can't wait, Deborah. I'm judging you purely
Mm.
by that. I'm judging you purely by how you handle that.
I'm nervous as to how they handle this show.
It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. But she was talking with a lot of confidence, so she ain't worried. So we'll see.
She's not
AJ,
worried.
she didn't seem it. She did not seem it. AJ, you going Kenobi or you going Vader?
Going Kenobi this time. You guys picked Vader all this time, so I'm going Kenobi.
Okay.
My pick is Asajj Ventress and Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Maul and Savage.
Yeah,
One of the
that's
best tag team
and you got my
battles
girl in there too.
all freaking time. It's just amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
No arguments here. That was one of them classic ones. I remember watching that when it first aired, just like, oh, y'all spitting. Kenobi with a red lightsaber in his hand? Oh, now y'all spitting. Okay. Okay. All right now. All right, I see y'all.
Hey, that was a really good one.
That was pulling one out of the vault right there. I appreciate that. I thought you was gonna go comic Kenobi, so I appreciate you going Clone Wars Kenobi. I appreciate that. Trevon, now that you are back, you going Vader or you going Kenobi?
I said it was gonna be Obi-Wan. I mean, but I guess I wasn't really thinking about a fight. I was just thinking about more of like an arc for him.
Whatever you want.
Like
it says moment. It doesn't have to be fight. It says moment.
I liked when he faked his death. And I thought he shaved his head. It just looked crazy. I just think that was so fun. I was like, this is so crazy. He looks so crazy. That's the moment I think about. See, that's the problem with me. Now that I've seen that, every time I think of him, I think of that. I'm like, you look crazy. But it was still fun. I was like, and Anakin was so like distraught by it. And I was like,
I'm still pissed that they did that. I'm sorry.
I am tell him. Ooh, I was okay.
Like the most emotional Jedi. You're gonna pick their partner to tell them that they dead, and you're not gonna
I get why, because he probably wouldn't have been able to just sit there and just let him do this. He probably like, I'm gonna help you, blah blah blah. But I get it. He is and they really did not trust him handling his emotions. They really did. Like, they're like, oh, we can't. Like, we tell you, you gonna like, that's not. Just let you think he's dead.
If Qui-Gon was there, my boy would have been so much different.
I really honestly don't know how much more different. Slightly different, but not much more different. Excuse me, because you got to remember, Qui-Gon also straddled the line. He started to lose faith in the Jedi way. So who knows where that would have taken him, especially with the Sith coming back. I don't know. I don't know. Palpatine could have used Anakin against them. So I think there's a lot more questions than answers with Qui-Gon being there. I just don't think Anakin would have ran to the dark side as quickly as he did if Qui-Gon was there. I think it would have been more so of a, let me sit down with this for a little bit.
And that's like why I get so upset.
Well, I think it would have. Well, I think he would have never gotten Ahsoka. He would never. I don't think he would have been where he was to get so hurt. I don't think he would have been.
Well, Ahsoka wasn't truly. Remember, Ahsoka wasn't part of that hurt. This hurt existed before Ahsoka became canon.
It pushed him. It kind of, they kicked her out. He was like, oh,
yeah,
man,
Ahsoka.
I hate y'all fucking ass.
Ahsoka did hurt him, like
that bothered
for sure. But I don't think that's what helped. I think if Padme was in good health, he would have never went to the dark side. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
That was a defining thing. It was really no more than just that. It was like, I just want to keep her alive.
But there was a lot that was like also compounding on that. So like that was like the catalyst. But everything else, like them not just Revenge of the Sith,
them not trusting
him in any capacity.
Well, I think we're arguing two different things. I think he could hate the Jedi Order, but still not become a Sith. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, true. Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, in one vein, I get it. Everything piled on, but I'm saying none of that mattered if Padme was in good health. So if you just take out Padme dying and put everything else on top, it still wouldn't have drove him to becoming a Sith.
I feel like, I haven't got to this Padme dying thing, but I know it's gonna happen because y'all. I mean, I heard it many times. But obviously she's not around, so hey.
I mean, that's really the biggest clue.
But like, I feel like their bond was so tight, him and Ahsoka, that if that did happen, maybe she could kept them like not going.
No,
I still believe. So. I believe that.
Let me say why it doesn't. When you watch Revenge of the Sith and see what Anakin did to Padme in the state of mind he was in, Padme couldn't talk Anakin out of becoming Sith. No way in hell Ahsoka could.
No. I think she would have if Obi-Wan had stayed his behind.
Yes,
on that
effing shit. I agree, but he didn't.
She would have absolutely talked him out of it. But him seeing Obi-Wan triggered him. So like,
now wait,
too far gone.
So okay, so I'm going off of I haven't seen all that, so I'm going off of what I know in Clone Wars. So I'm going off of they were already having marital issues. So it's like he was already like. To me, I feel like they're already heading towards divorce. That's how it looks like to me.
Oh,
right
God,
now.
No,
that's
no.
That's
even in her dying moment. She loved Anakin.
Not with the Clovis arc. Like even with that,
Okay, that's what y'all are saying. Before what I see, he didn't trust her.
Take blinders off.
I'm just saying. It how it looked to me. He didn't trust her.
That's your that's your view.
He didn't
I get what you're saying, but I'll tell you this: he became Darth Vader for her.
He was still mad, but he
became Darth Vader for her, Trevon. So that love never dwindled, not even a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. From what I see, it dwindled a little bit. He didn't. He was like,
watch Revenge of the Sith.
He was like, what the hell are you doing?
Watch it.
He became Darth Vader for her is what I think you're not hearing me say. That's love at its purest. Like I killed children for you. What are we talking about right now? Yes, I love you. Like doing all this so I can preserve, your life. So that never dwindles. It does dwindle in the sense of it's starting to create a strain that is starting to help Padme see him differently. But the love is still there. But it is giving her a glimpse at like, God damn,
you're a monster.
There is something else to you, but she loved him with all her heart, and he loved her. So there was no like rift in the sense of that, but I think it's overplayed to think that Ahsoka would have talked him off of the ledge. He was too far gone. I think that's what people keep forgetting. He was just too far gone at that point. At that point, he was too far gone. Too far gone.
Yeah, I mean, he did go over to where he went to Mustafar, and who was it? The what were there? Oh my God, what was their name?
Oh, you talking about the councilman?
Yeah, Separatist.
Yeah.
You saw like what he did. He didn't even speak. He said,
"I'm sorry. Are we forgetting he murdered children?" He was too far gone. He was gone.
I don't know. Okay, I'll just wait till I finish, I guess. But I just see as the bond with Ahsoka, although she doesn't exist in these prequel movies. So It's weird. But it's like, but I feel like if she was still in the order, still with him, all like through all of this, I feel like she would have still been there to at least pull him back. Like I really do feel
you're saying she would have tried. I'm saying at that point he was gone. He was gone.
Think he would have gotten that far.
Trevon. He was already buddy with Palpatine while Ahsoka was there. When they went to that jail, remember Ahsoka was saying she was disagreeing with everything Tarkin was saying, and Anakin was just like, "Nah, Tarkin's spitting facts." And Ahsoka was looking at Anakin kind of a little like, "I don't think you should have those views. Those are some weird ass views to have." Anakin was already starting to chart down that path, even with Ahsoka there. There were things he wouldn't confide in her. Too. Right. There were just things that Anakin would have never confided in Ahsoka about, which was that his feelings of the dark side, the pressure of it pulling him. He would have never said that to Ahsoka, so he would have been gone long before Ahsoka could have walked him off that cliff. All right, last thing before we get out of here, 2 directors that you think would be great for Star Wars in the long run. Just 2, not a full list of 5, just 2. AJ, I'll start with you because this is your baby here. So what 2 directors would you like to see, kind of take the helm of Star Wars for the long run?
This is going to be quick and easy. I can't pronounce his last name, but Rick
Fumiyawa.
Yes.
Fumiyawa. Rick Fumiyawa.
Yeah. and Dave Filoni.
Okay.
I want him to direct a movie as well. So yeah, those are my 2 picks.
I don't know, man, because I hear a lot of guys that do animation. It's not them. They don't like it. They don't like doing live action movies. There's just something about it that just itches them the wrong way.
If not that, then Peyton Reed. He did a good job.
Peyton Reed did fucking immaculate. Didn't Peyton Reed do the Luke episode, the finale? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going Bryce Dallas Howard, and I'm going. You know what? Without seeing the series, I'm gonna go out on a leap of faith. I'm gonna double down on my women here. I'm going Deborah Cho. I'm going Deborah, and I'm going Bryce. I want to see the women take over for Star Wars. I think we'd be in great hands if those two took over for the long run. So I'm going there. Blake, who you got?
Funny enough, the first one that came to my head was Ryan Coogler because of how he handled Black Panther, which had such a unique look to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the 2 movies he did before Black Panther, very personal, lone hero kind of stories, especially Creed specifically, which is kind of that Western part of Star Wars that I think he could do really well.
Right.
And I don't know if I'll get heat for this because of how Eternals was, but I think Chloe Zhao could do a good job with Star Wars.
I like Eternals, so you ain't gonna get no heat from me. I like Eternals.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I liked Eternals.
I
it
think
looked like Ash didn't. It looked like Ash didn't, but I enjoyed it.
No, that was me agreeing.
No. Okay, my bad.
I'm like, whoa.
I'm like, it looked like Ash was like,
No, I just hated the ending, but I love that movie.
Yeah, to me, I thought, Blake, the reason why I didn't see it the way a lot of people did was you can't ask for different, but then when you get different, you hate it. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, then, if you shit on the different, you'll make the studio shrink up and just stick to what's formulaic instead of being drastically different. Now, if it was a bad movie, then it's like, okay.
See the Celestial. What were you guys watching? Like, Eternals. I'm talking about like people that hated it. Did you not see?
I'm like, what is Trevon talking about? I got you.
Come on.
Trevon, bigger equals better, huh?
No comment on that. No comment on that. We're gonna move on to my directors. Okay. Let's do my part now.
So wait. Hold on before you go, Trevon. So Blake, it was Ryan Coogler and Chloe Zhao, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What you got, Trevon?
I'm cheating because I consider this a duo. So this is one of my director group, and it's Joe and Anthony Russo, because I love what they did with the Marvel movies. They did the Winter Soldier, but they also did the big spectacle. So I appreciate them being able to do both areas. And also, I want to admit this, but James Gunn, it would be interesting to see.
What's wrong with that?
Because I love how the Guardians movies looks. They're not my favorite of the movies, but I appreciate what he did with it, I guess. It was interesting to see.
Well, hold on. If there's one thing I know about Trevon, you'll sacrifice a good story for better action. So as long as he gives you good visuals, you'll be good. You'll be good. I love those 2 picks. I really do. To me, the Russos, here's what I would wait for me personally, not speaking for you, for me. I want to see how they handle Secret Wars. And if Secret Wars is hitting like Infinity War was, I'll give them Knights of the Old Republic the very next fucking day. The very next day. Because to me, if you could handle Secret Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, you could do with your eyes closed. Because
you don't think the end game's enough? I mean,
no.
I mean, you want Secret Wars? Okay.
No. Secret
Winter Soldier, and then
Winter Soldier and Knights of the Old Republic. No,
I'm saying the range. I'm talking about the range.
The range isn't my issue with them. My issue is that is literally the cream of the crop to a lot of Star Wars fans. Knights of the Old Republic. That's everything. Secret Wars to a lot of people is the crescendo. Like if you can nail that, no one's worrying about when.
Give Knights of the Old Republic to Dave Filoni. Get something like that.
No, I want
him to have something big.
I want to give him something original. I want to give him something original and intimate.
Okay.
I want to give him something original and intimate. Because when you look at Ahsoka, that episode where Ahsoka first popped up in The Mandalorian, you could tell that someone that loved that character directed it. You felt it. It felt like Ahsoka from Clone Wars. Nothing felt like it had changed. Or Rebels more so would be more apropos.
I don't know. I guess because I feel like he's made so much lore like happen and save Star Wars to me. I would like to see him do something that you guys feel is the best thing ever. Like I would love to see how he would do it. I don't know.
Well, I will argue this. With Dave Filoni, he definitely should work on Old Republic as a universe specifically, because Old Republic is literally the biggest thing Star Wars has. So if he's the one helping plan out everything that has to do with Old Republic, I would love that. But I think for Dave Filoni, he needs directors that can help him see his vision through.
Yes.
That's one of my issues with the prequels. George Lucas had the vision, but he wanted to do everything himself, and that vision got muddied a lot.
I'm with you. So I would actually use an example you would actually love, Trevon. So I would never give the creator of Deadpool the ability to direct and write a Deadpool movie, right? Because sometimes when you're just that invested, you're kind of making it for you and not necessarily for us, right? So you need somebody with the kind of ability to step back and say like, okay, this is what this is for that person. Now what can I do for everybody? So for me, Dave Filoni is the perfect person to say, all right, no. I know exactly what George would do in this situation. Do it like this, do it like that. But for him to necessarily be the guy to do it, I don't even think he would want to. You know what I'm saying? I think Dave Filoni is very much an intimate director. You know what I'm saying? Now, Jon Favreau is somebody I think you would want to give something massive to.
Ooh, team them up. There you go. Team them up. There you go.
Yeah, you can have one. Even though I think Favreau would rather write and direct himself. I think Filoni might be the one guy. He's like, yeah, you write, I'll direct. You know, yeah, we could tag team this shit. Ash,
I mean, look at the Mandalorian. Dave Filoni did a good job with this episode, but he actually admitted that he had a lot of help to direct in that episode because it's his first time directing.
Imagine that announcement. Imagine that announcement of both of them. Like,
look, there are only two announcements I remember that really just blew up the internet. When BVS was announced, blew up the internet. When Force Awakens was announced, you had no details. You just heard Star Wars was back. People went fucking bananas. And then I think when Kevin announced Infinity War, I think people went bananas because you knew what was coming. Like, shit, Thanos might snap. People might disappear. Like, you know, but BVS and Force Awakens, when those two things were announced, the internet was up for days. No sleep. Just tweeting theories. Oh, shit, what did they do this, do that, do that? Yeah, the internet was no good. I remember that. I remember when Henry Lennox went up there and announced BVS and people was just like, no fucking way.
I can see that being a big surprise because with the Marvel Infinity War stuff like that, I feel like people kind of expected where they were going, so it wasn't like a surprise or anything.
You had hoped, but you never. Know. And again, he still didn't properly adapt the comics. But you had an idea of where you were hoping he was going with it. Yeah. But Ash, what two directors would you like to see? Kind of take us into the next decade of Star Wars.
My first one was Bryce Dallas Howard, so definitely want her. And then my second person was also Chloe Zhao, as well. Like I liked what she did with Eternals, and I can see her doing a Rogue One-esque type of movie there. And I think I want more of those type of movies, like from Star Wars, give me that there. So those would be those are going to be my two.
Yeah. I love all the directors that we put up here. I think Star Wars would be in great hands if they took any of the names that we put out here. I really do want to see a female revolution where it's just more female directors. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll see them pop up here and there and you're like, damn, that movie or that show or that moment really kind of left a lasting impression on me. Like, do more, you know? And look, if there's one thing I can ask of Kathleen Kennedy, Samuel Jackson and Bryce Dallas Howard want to bring me Mace Windu back. Let them. Let them.
I listen, Kathleen, I don't beg for much, but I would beg for that. I would listen, I would sing the praises of the sequels. That's how much I want that. Here's
the crazy thing. You ready for this, Ash? Here's the only reason why I want it. Because if I were to get a season 2 of Kenobi, I would want him to get like a transmission from Mace Windu, but think like maybe it's a trap and he goes anyway, and it is Mace. But Mace doesn't know that that message has been intercepted. And we get a rematch of Mace Windu with his robot hand versus Vader. And then Vader finally puts Mace Windu to an end. It's like, well, you don't have to worry about him in the next one. Gone. Completely gone. But he needs his redemption. He needs to get that. He needs that get back. He needs that battle. He for sure needs it.
Like if we got Boba versus Cad Bane.
Yeah, we can get Mace. Or you know what? Actually, maybe not. Maybe not. I would actually like to see Cal Kestis find Mace Windu. I think that would be more entertaining. I think that'd be really awesome. You let Cal Kestis find Mace Windu? Yeah, I'm down for that. All right, I'm talking myself into a whole bunch of stuff Kathleen Kennedy will never do. Anyway, this has been a great episode of Star Wars Saturday. I don't know how much of a Star Wars Saturday we'll have next week, because I kind of feel like in that Kenobi breakdown on Friday next week, we'll get into a whole bunch of Star Wars. So we'll see. If AJ comes up with topics like he did today, then we'll have another one next Saturday. But no GVN talk next Friday night. It will be Kenobi night. We'll be breaking down the first 2 episodes of Kenobi, and every Friday after that. And then when necessary, obviously, when AJ has some really good ass topics like this week, we will do Star Wars Saturday. But make sure you guys stay tuned for GVN Roundtable, 2 or 2:30 tomorrow. I still don't know the topic. I'll be talking with Jayla soon, so we'll know the topic soon. I still don't know the topic. But make sure you guys check out my recent interview with Ted Humphrey from the series Lincoln Lawyer. He was the producer. Oh, and AJ, before we go, so that's what he said. He said, as far as he's concerned, there is a medium for both all at once and weekly releases. As far as he knows, there isn't going to be a stoppage of one or the other, or one for the other. Studios kind of see it in a vacuum to where they're both important. And he also said something that I thought you would love, AJ. He said shows on Netflix get greenlit or canceled after a 38-day window. After a 38-day window is when Netflix gets enough data to determine whether or not they want to greenlight it or cancel it. Unless it's something that's just massive, like Witcher. They could announce a season 2 like right after it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, they feel like it's right. They feel like it's just that big, right? Or Heart. I don't even know what that is, but Heartstopper. Yes,
it's got renewed for 2 seasons. Yeah.
Okay, and there you go. Then they know when stuff is hitting and when it's not. So he says they do have parameters, but the biggest thing for Netflix is them being able to accurately accumulate numbers. Yeah. Numbers is literally everything.
It's literally, yeah, I agree with
literally that. the heart, the air that they breathe over there. So I thought you would like that, AJ. So definitely check out like the last 20 minutes of that interview, AJ. It's all about numbers and everything. You would appreciate that. But thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are awesome. I want to say thank you to Didge, Ash, Blake, Trevon, and AJ. I almost said and Jawan, like I was a whole nother entity. And Jawan also, he was great. I appreciate it. We got a lot coming you guys' way. Obviously, me, Trevon, hopefully a few more people, but me, Trevon, and Joel for sure will be going live Monday night to break down that Thor Love and Thunder trailer. So best believe that. Yeah, it's official. Taika came out. There's a whole commercial for it.
Oh, I didn't see anything. Okay.
Yeah, Taika. It's a whole Taika saying tune in this Monday night. I'll be bringing basketball to Love and Thunder.
Game
It's
4 or whatever that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fourth game, Trevon. Like what?
You know who's
He said,
not
I don't know what
the
game
Knicks.
4 means.
He should have said something about Gore.
Anyway, he's making it seem like this is the first official trailer. So that's why I believe Gore will be in it. Yeah, that's why I believe
it's very much a teaser.
Right.
Yeah.
So Gore will be in it, and we'll have a better idea on how Mighty Thor became Mighty Thor. Now, AJ, I will say this: from what I'm hearing, it won't be Gore heavy. It'll end with Gore.
That's fine. I just need a look. I just need a look. I don't care about anything else.
It's mainly setting up. It's mainly setting up Thor, Mighty Thor, and
that's fine with me.
King Valkyrie. King Valkyrie.
Those
Those will be the focuses.
First, I was like,
yeah, those. No, I'm sorry.
Those will be the focus on those three. The focus should be on those three. But yes.
Right. So stay tuned for that, guys. I don't know. I assume maybe around halftime. I don't know. Sometimes they drop the trailer before they even do it during the actual game. So I don't know.
And then that person gets fired. Yeah.
Usually, yes. So whenever it drops, I will be breaking it down. So stay tuned for that. Excuse me. Stay tuned for that. But yes, make sure you tune in tomorrow for GVN Roundtable. But again, thank my panelists for joining me, and thank you guys for watching.